exactly. This is so strange, though. Like,
This is the reality, brother. But
it's
we know it's not
reality.
reality. We don't want to hear it.
Who are you, knowledge? Because all you've been speaking right now is just pure facts. It's just like seriously pure facts.
It's
Because
a reality, brother. It's a reality.
it is the reality.
Okay. Okay, let me explain. So, what happened in Africa now? In South Africa, kicking out black people. Okay? So, what happened in Somalia? They don't really accept other black people from West Africa, in Somalia. They don't really welcome them. You gonna deny that? Go to Mauritania. If you have the same feature like me, I'm not a first citizen.
All of,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So why we cannot have solve our own issues? Because what happened is at the moment, especially the one who just being have some degrees or some papers, they think that he have the only solution. Or he can think that let's play the black card or the religion card, or we always cry, we always blame the victim, we always charity donate for us. We always in the donation position, we always come here to just beg. If you see the crime, if you see the prison, how many percentage we are in prison? How many percentage Indian and Bangladeshi prison?
Knowledge, don't say that, man. Knowledge, you're talking the you being too direct, too honest. Do not say that, man. Do not spill this knowledge. Because saying that we hate each other, saying that we are not building, I mean,
So if I don't say it, who's gonna say it then?
well, it's best you don't say it. It's best you don't say it because some people are not ready to hear these things. You have to protect people's feelings. You have
You want
to.
a solution? You want a solution? You want to start? You want the truth? Okay. I'm gonna tell you something. If you come in Sudan, the lighter it will be, the more priority will be. Let's start from me. Not start other people countries. Okay. Let's see that after Eid, no one clean the road. You see the market now, they just be on the news. After Eid, everyone make a mess. We know that we are consumers. We not adding anything to society. We don't learn other people how they live. We don't really copy them. We just want their life without sacrifice, without contribute, without working hard, without. We want a lottery. We are we are the highest buying a lottery. We don't like challenges. We like lifestyle. The more money we have, the lifestyle we buy. We don't invest. We don't go do other stuff. We buy Gucci, Armani. This is the truth, my brother. What do you want me to say?
No, no, no. I'm being sarcastic because like I said, some people don't want to hear it. Some people just want to hear, want to be entertained. You know, tell us something that can keep our feelings not hurt. Because the truth of the matter, the truth hurts.
You know my opinion. I've been here with you many
Yeah,
times.
I know your opinion. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm here to see what how people see us. Why these Sri Lankans and Indian and then they're less in prison. Do you think I'm happy hold black people in prison? Do you think that when the police hold up an innocent black person, okay, people 90% they will think that this black might have done something, otherwise the police wouldn't catch him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this image, no one created that. We created by our reputation.
And only us. That's the fact of the matter is, you started saying that we need to stop playing the victim mindset, or stop basically talking about the past, what we used to do, what we've done. Of course we need to talk about our reality, or our history rather, but we shouldn't dwell on it so much. We should just talk about it in the sense that, okay, well, this is where we have been, this is what we have done, and we can do more. And what we have done is nothing compared to what we can do in the future. But some people, all of the time, they just want to dwell, oh, we are the first one to do this, we are the best one to do that. Okay, but can you open your eyes and also see that a lot of culture have things that they have firstly, that they are the first or the only one to ever create it. So you're not special, to be honest, because if everybody can do the same, everybody have an ability to do the same, I'm talking about different cultures, then sure, you can boost up your pride, you can boost up your ego, you can boost up your confidence, which is what a lot of Afro people need, which is good for the morale, which is good for the spirit. But at one point you have to say, okay, well, what we have done is nothing compared to what we can do in the future. It's like that's speaking more into power than rather reminiscing and what I've been done, because what I've been done is just it's just a milestone that you have done. It's not complete. It's not the end.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Go on.
Do you have your own freedom or you've been given by your freedom?
For me, it's different.
Not you. I'm not talking about
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yeah. I understand what you mean. So that's the thing. So did you have your own freedom? I've been thinking about that.
Take your own freedom or you've been given by your freedom?
I've been thinking about that though, knowledge. If I give somebody their freedom, is it that they truly are free, or is it that I create the condition for them to be free? And are they free if I give them the condition? If I create this system, this scenario, okay, you are supposed to be free when you are doing this. Is that true freedom though?
Well, you think that is freedom because the machine will replace you anyway. The industry will replace you because they don't need you. They don't need to feed you anymore. When the industry come up, when the machine come up, they don't need you because you cause them more than the machine. That's why they release you anyway. And let me tell you, when they release you, as soon as you've been released, what you contribute is you want to cut corners. We need to cut corners. The one who achieve 1% or they achieve highest, they leave from us. They don't really stay with us because we can drop them down.
That's the thing.
Yeah, we can pull them down. We cannot push them. We cannot learn because the jealousy we have each other more than how we have it to the white person.
It's worse a lot of the time because
So the good thing is what we need to do, let's start, not too late. Let's start. Let's reshape again.
yeah.
How? It start from individual, it start from yourself, start from myself. How can I
Yeah.
represent myself among them? Whatever they can say, it doesn't stick on me. I'm
Yeah.
here now.
True, but knowledge to act to what you said as well. I'm gonna respond to what Tasha just said in the comment. To add to what you say, we have to have an individual mindset, but also we have to have a community mindset. A community mindset that focus on a specific goal without wavering. And with that we have to be people need to have a certain level of self-control, of self-discipline, or emotional control, because just like you said earlier, that a lot of the time we in the community we tend to break each other down because of this hatred. It is, we have to really, a lot of the time we have to analyze our mind, our mindset, but also analyze it in a global sense, meaning from the history of what happened to us and the moment that we are living now, and also for the future. Whenever you analyze your mind, you need to actually be able to analyze your emotions as well, because the reason why this is important is to know that what you are feeling, the feelings, the thoughts, everything, are they really what you would want to exhibit? Are these thoughts really want, like, let's say for example, knowledge. Let's say you decided to start a business or you have a business. Yeah. For me, practicing group economic would mean that all my actions, all my words should be in order to help you or to merge with you or partner with you, to help you, to partner with you because I want my mutual benefit as well, but in a sense that we can work to take this to a higher level, or to make it more profitable. So now with this, I need to be able to understand what are the different forces that are in my mind. What are the different things? It could be jealousy, it could be envy, it could be that I think that your product, because since you are an Afro man, that your product might not be as to standard. All these different forces I need to balance out of myself to really rid myself of these forces that are not contributing. And at the same time, it needs to be something that it's something that we both need to be having open communication, open conversation. What I find in the a lot of the time in the in our community is that we don't talk enough, we don't openly communicate, and even when we openly communicate, it turns out to be a situation where our communication turns to expectation rather than trying to get understanding or just trying to voice yourself out you know so what are your thoughts about what I've just said?
I'm just gonna say one more time. I'm gonna go before I go because I got my classes. I
Sure.
would say, well, when I used to work with one Indian one, I used to be a driver for them. So I asked the Indian guy. I told him that you don't have a community. You just mentioned it. They said we don't need a community. We are already together. Okay.
Yep.
So he just give me a small comparison. Who have the high rate single mom? Who have between Indian and us? Who
Oh.
have, who have I haven't seen an Indian put his granddad or grandmom to carer.
Oh.
Okay, I haven't seen a single mom, a woman have three baby daddy Indian. Only us. I haven't seen some or online that much or as a black woman. Been seen more homeless, black man more homeless in the world. Even though we have the rich to Europe or the rich to America or to Australia, still he will be. There is a high chance he will be homeless. An Indian guy, no.
And for me, I like that's a good point. For me, I like to to add to one example of what you just said. How many black businesses or that you can see in Europe? Because this is where I'm in Europe. You understand?
Are you gonna compare to Indian?
That's what I mean. Comparing to Indian, comparing to the
You better check it
Chinese.
out, brother. I'm telling you. Listen, these people, they not only work continually, they only work, they use the system and then benefit. In Europe, there is free education, free healthcare, free everything. Okay? How many of them being graduate? We know. Okay, let's see the other part. How many of their kids,
Why a Caucasian?
18 and 16, ended up working for the postcode? You know the postcode system? It's like this is my area, this is my area. Okay.
Yeah.
How many of them? Okay, they've been analyzing others, each other. How many Indian have we seen in the involvement in the police crime? They become police officer. They arrest black people. They become judge. They become a lawyer. They become a doctor. They become a dentist. People have a dentist, even though it's free education.
Yeah.
They born here. My cousin is born here seven time in prison. Okay.
And for what? And for what? Because he wants to imitate.
He grabbed a watch for 300,000 and he broke his jewelry, a nose, and he took from a white guy. And the white guy he turned, he's dad, he's a millionaire or billionaire, I don't know. And he said that I'm gonna take him to France. He gave him 7 years in prison.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm not going to say much because I don't, hope what I'm saying is not to put our culture or our black people down. Just to alert that there is something we need to work for it. We have some, big issue birds. We need to look each other. We don't accept each other. We don't like each other.
Yeah.
We don't. We be pretending.
Red.
When a white man do something, we just will reflect that.
Exactly.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you, knowledge. Red, you ready to go in red? I think red is not ready. But Red, are you ready? Okay.
I was about to ask, was he Indian?
No, you can.
No, no,
So what you described to me is what we would call honorary white men or the middlemen. The race that goes under the radar because it's not the focal point of the racism or the oppression. So it's not asking why they succeed more than the black people. It's the question of why they are not the focus of the white tea supremacy. Why are they not over policed? Why are they not discriminated against? The focal, the eye of the oppression is not upon them, so they fall into a category that we call honorary whiteness or middlemen. And there's a couple of demographics that fall under there because usually the two hyper focused points of racism is whiteness and blackness. So there are and then there are racists that are complicit with racism and sometimes even side with racist views. We see that in our elections when people overwhelmingly, whether it be women or other races, identify or vote against their best interests in the name of whiteness because at this point in history, that racism does not focus on them. But if racism, if one race is eliminated, i.e. the black race is eliminated from the equation, not from the earth or life, but from the equation, then the next rung, the next group of individuals become the hyper focused point of the racism. Like we can see Hispanics are overwhelmingly when in the absence of black racism, Hispanics and Mexicans
But
or
okay, red,
individuals that are
red. Okay,
Mexican,
red. I appreciate what you are saying. The thing is, I still want to focus on, look at the board up there, because this is what we are
oh, no,
talking
I
about.
haven't even addressed that yet. I'm
Yeah.
only addressing.
I'm really
I don't like pointing out
no.
the success of these other
Something
groups.
before I go because I have.
I don't like pointing out the success of these other groups
Wait.
and not pointing out the reason why.
Okay, all
It's
right.
not because they're it's
Okay.
not because they're overachievers or anything, but
They
they're
are,
not
but they are
they're not focused
overachievers. Okay,
on.
but
No, but they're not. If,
okay.
if black people had the same conditions, like okay, so like when you look at the white T suburbs and you look at the black area, the crimes that are being committed, the offenses that are being committed, are not committed on a higher level. It's just that the black community is more over policed.
That's true. That's true. Knowledge. You want to say something, knowledge?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I'm just kind of. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but the truth always we don't accept it. Okay, forget about people who born and raised in Europe. Even us, as African, we as soon we immigrate, as soon we find comfortable, as soon we find everything, we don't really use our own benefit. We louder than we work. We shout than we contribute. We do stuff until we educate ourselves. We compete with someone already have a golden spoon in their mouth. Okay? We put our level in that kind of level because our ego. We think that not the level only. We think that we are past them. We deserve more than them. So what happened is, I don't know because I'm not talking about the native, uh, whatever. But some people they think that the native and some London. I don't have issue with that. As me as a migrant, when I came here, I'm sharing a plate. I have to take what benefit me, what represent me as a society as a black person. Whatever I do will reflect me and will reflect to other person coming behind me. I'm leaving good review or bad review. I have to start from myself. So here we have everything. I know it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be smoothie like every race. But me, I have to let them believe I am the one can be. But if I'm gonna look for all the excuses, for all the chances I have, all the limited chances I have, So what happened is, what I'm gonna do, the shortcut. I want to exercise my right. I want their right. That's not gonna work. Life is never gonna be fair. Life is not gonna come and say, oh, you've been, no. You have to prove yourself. You have to play the side. You have to be weaker when you're not stronger. When you're stronger, you have to be stronger. Not when you're weaker, you have to be stronger. Anyway, my class is almost ready. I need to go. Thank you for the chance. I will come back if there's still the topic there, brother.
All right.
Please don't get hard feeling. I'm not here to insult our community or our blackness, but this is the realities.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate your knowledge. Appreciate your input knowledge. Red.
Yeah, yes, sir. And so I still haven't even addressed the prompt yet because I keep having to go back. I hate this exception to the rule mindset. When those of us make it, and it's really easy to get swept up in that. I mean, because I can look at my life, right? I chose a different path than most people from my community. And now I own a home. I put my kids through college and through things like that. I can turn around and use that mentality and say, what am I doing that you're not doing? And hold it against the rest of the community and say, the rest of y'all must not be doing something. But that's not so. When people, the only thing that I've just proven is that there are exceptions to the rules and some of us can make it through. But with that said, even when and something disgusted me the other day, brother Super Life. I walked into a live. Heard about it. Matter of fact, I need to go ahead and research. I didn't catch the names, but one was a young lady that had came up missing for a while, and one was a young man. Because we keep having these mysteriously unalivings of our people. When I say our people, I mean people of African descent all across the United States, not just the ones that was born there. And what this FBA panel was indicating, the reason there's no public uproar about it from the black community is because they're not FBA. And I felt that was disgusting. So the reason I bring it up is because I was getting the hint that if you come here as an immigrant and you keep your head down and you play by the rules, and don't make any excuses, you can be successful and you're not subjected to the rules of the others. That's just plain luck. And so I'm looking at these two individuals who lost their lives, and we still don't know why yet, but they were victims of the same, probably racism that the rest of us are attributed to. And it was only because of the way they looked in their skin. It didn't matter how they acted. It didn't matter what they did, how below the radar they stayed, just because they were black, they were unalived. And I felt that FBA live was disgusting. But as far as the topic is FBA, African, black, and race war.
Wait. Before you move forward, Red. So if I understand you correctly, so basically, some people who have created the FBA or who are talking about FBA in general are phonies. Is that what you mean? And these phonies have been unalive? Is that what you mean?
No. Are you saying foreigners or phonies?
Oh, phonies, fakes,
No, foreigners.
foreigners. So
Okay, so these two black people that were unalive, one being a female and one being a male, or a woman and a man, were not African American. They were unalive by a tree, if you get what I'm putting down.
oh wow, because wow.
I said inching before, and you said you understood what I meant, but I said
Yeah.
inching, but I meant.
Okay. No, I just want to make it clear for everybody. But so they were on a line by a tree, so a tree and a rope. So okay, thanks.
Yes.
You know. So what do you find the problem was in that situation? What was the problem?
No. So this is what this FBA live was putting down. Why is the African community not an uproar about it? Well, one, I hadn't heard about it. I still haven't heard about it. I got to do research on it. But they had photos and commentary on both of the individuals. I still gotta look it up because this was like in the wee hours of the morning. And they were saying the reason nobody's complaining about it is because FBA has pretty much unhitched their horse from the African wagon. So nobody cares because well, FBA, let me not say African Americans, because FBA don't care. And then they was doing the whole mutant tactic where they wouldn't let the African people speak. And I mean
Oh
continental
yeah.
Africans, because I believe we're all Africans. But they wouldn't let the African panelists speak. And it was like, yeah, that time of y'all hiding behind us is over. And they were basically saying that the white tea people knew that these individuals were not FBA and unalived them on pre-purpose because they knew the FBA community didn't protect them. They were not protected by the FBA umbrella, and white people were letting them know. None of this is true. This is, I mean, we know that they were totally unalived more than likely because of blackness, not because of not being FBA. But this is what FBA was saying. And you're like, you foreign black people are no longer protected by the civil rights struggle or the efforts that these I'm doing air quotes like you can see me, these quote unquote FBA saviors have offered you anymore.
Yeah, this is,
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. But you know, this is so diabolical, to be honest. I've seen, I think it was this week, I've seen, maybe it was the same live. Because what happened, these guys, it wasn't the AMs. So they were talking. Whenever the Africans came in, the panel, guys, let's tap the screen. Everybody tap the screen. Let's get to 2K likes. And if you want to join the conversation, you can join as well. They were asking questions to the Africans, but they were not allowing them a moment to explain or to talk. And the moment that they talk or go against, or basically, you know, this is, for me, my platform is different. I want you guys to challenge my ideas or my thoughts or to have a discussion that I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to say, yes, you are right. But once it makes sense, once it's actually, you know, it can be verified, it is factual, then I'll let it pass. But on that platform, I'm not saying LFBA, but that specific one, that specific live that I was watching, and whenever the Africans were saying something, if it wasn't according to what the FBAs or these people that were in that platform, if it wasn't according to what they wanted to hear, if it wasn't according to their ideologies, they would mute them. They would curse them off. They would say they're being disrespectful. They will undermine them. Basically, they wouldn't give him a chance to actually speak. They wouldn't want really trying to have a dialogue. So on that note, Red, you said they basically on a live, recently they unalive some people with a rope on a tree.
I confirmed yet because I was just looking for it as I talked to you.
Yeah. And
someone posted this live and they showed a picture of a young woman who they claim to be
wait, okay. Red, look at this. Look, when I see foolishness, I have to point it out. We are not the same. Why are you in their space? So what? So I will ask you the same thing, Grigri. It seems like we are not the same. So why are you in my space? I welcome you, even though we are not the same. I welcome you in my space, which is really a stupid thing to say, because you are not the same. What do you mean we are not the same? Red, this is basically what Red has been saying.
This is the crazy stuff that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But this is a new mindset.
Yeah, right.
This is a new mindset where, I mean, more than likely that's a black guy that could probably be your cousin or your brother.
Exactly.
And he said we're not the same. But in their minds, they don't realize
He's African.
It doesn't matter to white.
It doesn't matter. That's what they don't realize. Okay, let me give you guys a good example here. You're Nigerian. So what? We're not the same. Yeah, you're Nigerian.
I get what he's saying. Now you have to be more clear, brother. So he's asking why am I in their spaces? I'm usually not. I just happen to be scrolling and actually I was on my backup profile.
Yeah.
And so on this profile, I normally block all that nonsense. But I
Yeah.
was on my other profile and I was just scrolling and stumbled across it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think,
I
but the
didn't
thing
want to
is,
say exactly
but Red,
why I was in that space.
but Red, that's that question is very narrow-minded in the first place. You know why? You are an intellectual. You want to learn. You want to see, verify your thoughts. You want to see different things or hear different opinions. So because you want to so basically because you want to hear you shouldn't be wanting to hear any other opinions. You should, the moment that you hear something that you disagree to, you should just shut it off. That's that's the logic.
Actually, I kind of do. I kind of do. When I hear FBA or Pretendian rhetoric, I stay in that live
Hi,
long enough.
Mighty.
I go in a particular order. I start. I block the host last because if you block the host first, you lose the entire live.
Yeah.
I go through the whole panel. I block. Then I block the host live. Then I lose the whole live because I prefer an echo chamber of truth. I mean, and people
Oh,
talk
okay.
about an echo chamber as if it's bad. Now,
And
when I'm on another person's live that wants a well-rounded discussion, I understand the admittance of opposing thought. I have no problem with that. But the opposition doesn't think like super life and thinks that you should be able to speak. When you go to their panels, they say, be quiet while I speak. And then you're quiet while they speak. And then they be like, it's your turn to speak now. And then you're never allowed to speak.
Never.
They mute me. They drop me down. Even when I come with information, they be like, you need slides and information. I come with my slides and information. They turn off my camera. This and that. So no, I really don't go to those spaces
yeah. Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. Guys, let's tap the screen. Let's tap the screen, guys. Okay, let me give you guys an example. In the Netherlands and Amsterdam, probably you guys would know Amsterdam. And this is a serious situation. You guys are saying we are not the same. Yeah. Perhaps well, this situation doesn't really come like, okay, no. It's still a good example. So in Amsterdam, this is what happens.
I'm from South Sudan. Why would you stop it? I wanted to hear that.
In Amsterdam, not Sudan. Amsterdam in the Netherlands.
I'm South Sudan.
Okay. Do you know where the Amsterdam is at?
You said in Amsterdam.
The Netherlands?
Amsterdam. And you
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Okay, all right. Just listen. You're gonna have a chance to speak. Just listen for this for a moment. Okay, what's happening in Amsterdam is there's been many protests that is taking place. The Dutch people are protesting because of what happened is, I think it was last year, but just it's not even 5 years ago. A young lady, she was cycling, a teenager, she was cycling in the streets and of Amsterdam. The Netherlands is a bicycle country. So everywhere, imagine a country that is purely flat and almost everyone ride bicycles. And everyone owns a bicycle. So there's like more than, yeah, everyone is so many. There's millions of bikes and canals. Stay muted, Mia. So
No, because I listened and you muted, like you mute me.
look, all right, stop that. Okay, stop that. So basically, so she's coming from she's going home. She's coming from a party, and someone from, I think this person it's somewhere in Africa, but it was an immigrant or asylum seeker. So this asylum seeker violated her. You know, the worst, the SA violated her and unalived her as well. So because of that, there has been many protests for that one girl, which is understandable. And you guys will say we are not the same. Guess what? Many other European countries, people from other European countries are saying we stand with you. They are not the same, yeah? Of course, you know, they can be from Italy, the UK, they can be, you know, Caucasians. They are saying we support you. They want a lot of asylum seekers. They've been protesting against asylum seekers. They want a lot of them to be outside. Go, just basically don't allow for their government to not allow them to be in the country. Some people would say, yes, yeah, we are not the same, but guess what? All around Europe, France, different countries in Europe, different Europeans, they are saying we stay with you, we stuck with you. So they are not the same. But I find, which is, totally lacking, as Afro people, we will say that we are not the same. What about them? What's my point? If you've been listening to, you were not here before. So the point is, earlier, someone was saying in the comment section, we are not the same. And because an African or foreigner from the US got unalive on a tree and with ropes. So FBAs, some people were saying, okay, well, we are not the same. FBAs, if it was us FBAs, we would have done something. We are not the same. So Africans are not doing anything because we are not the same. Africans and FBAs are not the same. But in this situation that is taking place right now, this happened this week, and it's constantly happening, that people are protesting, the Dutch people are protesting in Amsterdam, which is understandable, but different Europeans from all over the world, they don't have to be Dutch, they don't have to be from Holland. All over the world are saying we stand with you. But you guys will say that we are not the same, right? Marco, what do you want to ask? Marco. Marco.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man.
I wanted to ask you a question about where you think race started.
That's not a question I really want to answer, because what's the point of answering this question? What's your point? What's your reason?
Like,
Yeah, then tell me.
I believe everybody has an idea where we begin. If you take a scientific point of view, then ultimately you're going to say we all come from monkeys. And if you take a biblical standpoint, then you're going to say that we come from God and the Tower of Babel happened, and that's what split all the languages up.
Okay. All right. So yeah.
Like, if you don't understand like the history of it,
But what is
that's your foundation.
What is? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand.
what is the point though?
What is the point?
It'll be your foundation. Like, how can we see eye to eye if your foundation is built off of a different idea? And we're the same people. We live on the same earth. Both ideas are saying that we're related, but they're saying different points of views. Like, this one point of view equates us to animals, and this one point of view equates us to God.
But how do we? Well, one, science doesn't say that we come from monkeys. That's not what science says at all. Science says that we have a common ancestor. So it's like a tree with branches. The root had the same start, which was not a monkey. And then one of the branches would come out to be a monkey, one would be a gorilla, one would be humans, one would be another type of what you call it, a quadruped. But none of us came up off the same line. So humans' ancestors are other hominids, not monkeys at all. So that's not
Yeah.
what science says.
Okay, Marco.
And
Yeah, but
go
Red,
ahead.
I know you know your stuff, Red. But I'm still wondering, what is the point? How is that connected to what we are talking about?
Because this is where like the different titles come from. So
Okay,
if you follow my foundation, which I believe is beneficial to everyone, is seeing, all right, we all split up in the Middle East, in Iraq, modern day Iraq, that's where we all split up from.
Okay.
If we can get this idea and understand this history, then I feel like we will all become closer to truth, which is very important.
Okay. All right. So that would mean, okay, let's put that in the practical sense. That would mean you will have to share these ideas, teach people this history about themselves, and everybody has to believe it, and you have to create You have to create, because you have to think about it as well. You have to lay down this your belief. You have to be able to lay down the timeline of life. Wait, I'm gonna mute you for a moment, Marco, because there's, I think in your mic there's like it's glitching, Marco. So you have to be able to lay down your ideas in the time of life. So if you are to actually say, okay, this is the history that you want to talk about, this is the history that you hope that FBAs, Africans, blacks would understand, that would unite them, what would be the purpose though? What would be the reason? Can you unmute yourself, Marco?
It would be it would help everyone get closer to truth, which is freeing to the mind, and it brings everyone together.
Okay.
Because we now relate on history, which would clear up the confusion. The confusion would be, all right, why are there Asians? Why are there Africans?
Wait. I'm sorry, no, but whose truth is that?
That's a good question. Oh, and I was gonna ask him, what is the truth?
Biblical.
What is the truth?
Yeah,
Okay,
so the
biblical.
thing is that the Bible is not a historical point of view. Matter of fact, there's so many inaccuracies in the biblical text. Why would we record it?
I would ask you to propose a better idea.
You mean
How, for it's very specific, my question, for how there are so many different races here, and what is the point? If you're gonna break it down in a scientific matter, then
matter?
Manner, yeah. All right.
Hey, listening though, brother. This question right here up above would make a lot of sense if you're following it in a scientific matter.
Okay.
Because now there's a real question like, who's better? And that's where war happens, because people have to prove.
Okay, wait, Marco. Okay, yes, I think so too, Marco. Let's give you a moment to restructure your thoughts. It might make sense to you, which is okay, but again, our conversation or thought, we're gonna get Fosun's up. Fosun, you're up next. Our conversation or thought has to be able to you have to be able to transfer it, to convey it to people, and they can understand you. If you understand it yourself, then, which is good, this is one step, but you need to be able to take it further, that you can make other people understand you as well. Because if you know something, you want to share it, and we don't understand you, then what would be the point? So like, I think you need to really structure your thought. I'm not discrediting you, I'm not saying it's not true, whatever, but again, we want to understand you, but you're not being coherent. So we're having difficulties understanding you. So restructure, think about these things. Post-on, how you doing?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm doing good.
Okay, so first and foremost, I understand what Marco was getting at.
Okay.
But to just the prompt.
No. Okay, no. First, can you say you understand? Then what did you understand?
So basically from what he's saying, it seems as though he wants there to be a foundational argument that everybody agrees upon. So basically a founding myth or an origin story that everybody agrees upon. That way, when it comes to these sorts of quote unquote delineations or, different ethnic groups or whatever the case is, instead of fighting along those lines, we can say, okay, well, we all come from one place originally, so there's no need for us to argue.
But not okay.
Just like the species argument, which is we're all humans at the end of the day. So a lot of this stuff is mindless.
That part I did get it, and that's why I was telling him he needs to be able to sure, if you're gonna create a new idea, a new ideology, that's something that's gonna take something that's gonna take generation in order for it to actually be able to show up in real life. It's something and you need to also make it make sense for people to actually, just like if you have a topic that you want to teach, you have to be able to, put it into a practical step that what people can do as well. So, but for some, don't we already have something that connect us? Don't we have?
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah. What would you say?
Sorry, go ahead.
What would you say these things are that really connect us? And then
Well, I think the I would say the human experience in general connects people. If you have any element or even a modicum of love in your life, you understand that another human being is another soul, another universe, another life. And so to demean that, to dehumanize that, is just a reflection of your own corruption in a sense. Which is why when you look at the prompt and it says, is FBA African, Black, a race war or a distraction? I see it as more of the same. It's more propaganda in order to pit groups of people who otherwise share a vast amount of similarities against one another for the sole purpose of political gain and false sense of stability for the people who are perpetuating some of these narratives. And really, to understand who serve to benefit, just look at the types of individuals who profit off of these fights, who profit off of this disunity, who are gaining from the quote unquote wars and conflicts and civil unrest that is happening in these countries. And then if you look historically at who's been funding these sorts of things, if you look at what's happened in the Caribbean, if you look at what's happened in Africa, if you look at what's happened in the United States with the Black community, it's always the same culprits. And so for me, it gets to a certain place in time where you have to understand what's being done to you. And fortunately, there have been individuals, intellectuals, and scholars and academics who've recorded these sorts of occurrences, who've spoken on them, and you saw what happened to them. But I think it's important that we don't forget that history has demonstrated that this is a recurring pattern that happens, particularly with the Black community, in order to keep us not only divided, but also oppressed in a way that features certain groups of people above our own capabilities and our own qualities and excellence. And this also ties into not only geopolitics like the Monroe Doctrine, but it also ties into, the overall model and method of colonialism, which features a perpetual extraction from the quote unquote developing global South. And then you ask yourself, well, what's going on with the global South? And then you realize that the entire system predicated on the development of the global South is meant to keep it in this perpetual state of developing. That's really what it is.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you said really what actually the truth and what actually is keeping us together, and but people need basically to be able to recognize that. Guys, let's stop the screen, guys. Let's everybody in the chat like up.
Can I say something to
Sure.
his point, please?
Yeah, go on.
He was making a point that I just came to the knowledge of this recently. I'm American. I'm not sure if you're American too, but I'm American. I did not know that the French colonized Africa while Africa was at war, and the French was helping one side and taking slaves from the other side, and it was like a business thing. So it kind of makes sense when you look at governments as businesses and the native people as just people being used.
Okay. Yeah, government has always been businesses. It's if people don't recognize that at this point, it's yeah, what is government if it's not a business? That doesn't mean, yeah, it's different. What I just yeah, okay. IBJ guys, let's stop the screen. Let's get the likes up. First one, yeah, coconut, got very much. Yeah, IBJ guys, let's stop the screen. I'll be back.
My point is, it's not in our history in America that the French colonized Africa. Like, are you agreeing with me? Like, is this true information? Because I heard this from another African on TikTok.
Yeah.
That the French came and colonized African while the kings were at war amongst each other. Like, joining a war, but not using soldiers, just using their mind to take slaves. Is that true?
Okay.
I mean, I'd say that's a gross oversimplification, but
Yeah.
like overall, it was a divide and conquer strategy that was used. So they would back certain tribes and rebel against others. They would try to destabilize whatever systems of government they had or whatever land sovereignty was already established, and establish themselves as the preeminent figures And I can provide a variety of different examples from my own people where it's like, we had, well, my dad's side of the family had wars with the Portuguese. My mom's side of the family had wars with the Dutch for all of really the same reasons. It was people coming along the coast of Ghana, West Africa, and trying to establish different industries and enterprises that they didn't agree with.
Yeah. Yep. And Marco, look, the method, yeah, there are different strategies that are used and a lot of different strategies. And sometimes, sometimes, talking about it is but I think you were saying it because you're saying that you have a different history because you're American, you are Black American. Yeah, I mean that's definitely okay,
Well,
but
I would say African American because it's a better description. Black American would be less descriptive and I lose more information.
okay.
But when I had this information from this African person, he was telling me, no, actually, it was an Arab, it was a Arabic person. He was telling me this information because he was like, we are the first colonizers, and then French, and then English. And I'm like, this is not in our history books. We don't see it this way.
Okay. All right. IBJ. Let's give IBJ a chance.
Yes, Super Life. Thank you very much. Good evening, guys. Everyone from I'm here from Holland. Super Life. I have a question for you. Why is it so difficult for African people, blacks in general, for us to come together to unite and do things for our common good and common destiny? Because if you look at the history, first thing you've contributed brilliantly, my brother. Thank you very much. I've learned
Appreciate
so
you,
much from
Riz.
you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm at a loss for words because you check from the eastern part, the west, the north, the south. It is all division. Why is it so difficult for us to say enough is enough? Let us leave the past. We cannot forget, but it is time for us to move on collectively. Black people, our skin, even your skin, your DNA has identified you as a black person. There is no need to find out who you are because we all share a common destiny, a common past. And all of us should know that collectively we have one oppressor. And it is not appropriate for me to identify that oppressor here. Everyone knows who that oppressor is. But my question is, why is it so difficult for us after 300-400 years, with all the atrocities that have been committed against black people, for us to say enough is enough? It is time to come together collectively for our common destiny. Thank you.
And for us to even go as far to say that we are not the same, as if not like whether we all have our different histories, but one thing's for sure, these different histories are not something that we can say that we are, that was done right to us. So this is the thing. Like, why don't we just recognize these facts? But again, that's a good question. I think that's a good question, IBJ. But I think everyone, I want to hear from some ladies. I think everyone have their own importation or their own reasons or their own. You guys have. There are a lot of reasons why to answer to the question, but a lot of it is ignorance of the past, ignorance of self, and ignorance of our future in general. So accept God. Let me see. So what do you guys think? Let's start with Marco. What do you think based on what IBJ just asked?
It goes back to like the foundational part that I'm talking about. Like if we all believe in the same foundation of why different languages exist, which I believe is the Tower of Babel in Iraq. If we start there and we see the reason which God says he had to stop us from building together, because anything we're going to do is going to be possible. So he split our languages there, and from then on, that's where the wars start to happen after, because there's confusion in our languages. This Somalian, or no, what is it? It's not Somalian, Swahili. She told me that taco means ass. I'm like, what? It's just such a different way to understand language. But knowing it is intelligence. Not knowing it is confusion.
Okay. All right. What about you, Poson? Guys, let's keep the likes engaging, guys. Let's get to tap the screen as you're here. Then Red, you want to answer to the question? I think Poson is probably not paying attention.
Yeah. The thing is that the very answer is to what you initially asked. This difference that black people perceive. When we look at global dominance, superiority, and colonization, neo-colonization, slavery, apartheid, white people don't see the difference between themselves. I mean, they see a common goal for a what they consider a common people, the Europeans, and they take to it. At the time of the Berlin Conference, the what do you call it? The scramble for Africa leading up to the Berlin Conference. Do y'all know that white people were at WAR? They
Yep.
were,
Yep.
and they sat down peacefully. They didn't even find us worthy enough to go to war about. WAR, I'm sorry. They didn't even find us worthy enough to go to WAR about. They sat down peacefully, carved up Africa like a cake. I call that pan-Europeanism. I call that collective working together. You bring that notion to black people around the globe, and they go bonkers. They go crazy. I ain't got nothing in common with them. It has nothing to do with biblically. It has nothing to do with scientifically. It has to do with a colonized mind. It has to do with a religious mind. White people, Europeans will set aside their religion to get together with other white people to put their collective boot on your goddamn neck. They will set aside their politics to collectively put their boot upon your neck. They will set aside their ideologies, what you call it, nationalism. They will set all of that aside to put their collective boot on your neck. And they know and have conditioned us to you will look at your black brother. You will look at your black brother and say, he is not of me. I am an American. You will look at a white guy and see him as more as a brother than a fellow black man because he's from another nation or of a different religion. This is the problem. You see yourself more American than African. And the very people you seem to align yourself with see you more African. They know you're African. So going back to the initial question, is FBA African, Black, and race war a distraction? Yes, it is. And should it be on the table for discussion? Yes. But it should not be the focal point because they keep us focused on these little things while they collaborate and keep us where we are. Look, I mean, and this is where I land. Look at any time we started to rise up in the world. The Sahel region. What happens? You got the rise of FBA and all of these other things. The Pretendians, the Hebrew Israelites. The year to return back to Ghana. Honor when Ghana is welcoming, and all these other African countries welcoming back people of the diaspora, not just African Americans, but people of the diaspora. You have all these crazy things that come up. Civil WARs. Look at what just happened when the Ghanaian president comes and gets them to acknowledge the greatest crime against humanity of the transatlantic slave trade, and then a month later you got what's going on in South Africa. Do y'all think this shit be on accident?
Yeah.
It's on purpose. It's to distract you from the thing. And the thing is, a month prior to the South African president, I'm sorry, the Ghanaian president coming here doing that, the South Africans were screaming to the top of their lungs, Ubuntu. they were screaming Ubuntu. So how does that change within a month time frame?
Yeah.
I'm in there.
All right, guys, if you disagree with what he's saying, I see a lot of people saying stop talking. Look, if you're just mad, just take your anger elsewhere. But if you have a really strong disagreement or you wanna basically just discuss with what we are saying, just join the conversation, okay?
Thank you.
Hey, Duchess.
Thank you so much. I'm going to send you a gift because I want to, not because I was asked to, but I will. I
Voila.
support what Red had to say. I've been online for like 2 days now, and I'm a Nigerian, first of all. And if you listen to my contribution to these other lives, you actually think I don't like Black Americans. And, it cannot be farther from the truth. I love the point that he made in terms of Ubuntu and how, it was referenced. I think Chimamanda Adichie even wrote about it and stuff. How can you talk about togetherness and you're kicking out your fellow Black Africans from your country? Do you know Africa was only codified when the colonialists came to Africa? Before that, we were just neighbors. We were literally just neighbors. So we didn't have any distinction that it is South, East, West, whatever, Africa. So I deeply commend him for that, and I thank God that I guess I came to this page. But thank you, because honestly, from my interactions with Black Americans on these lives, I honestly was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with these people. So I'm glad that maybe it was just, I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm glad that I'm just happy to just be checked in a way. You know what I mean? I don't need to be extreme in terms of my beliefs and my view of Black Americans, because just based on what Red says, the people they're Africans. They were just displaced Africans. And I truly hope that one day Africa will have this conversations about why they ended up here, all the stuff that transpired. It's a lot of stuff that we have to dig through. But I just think for us to have complete, real unity, we have to admit to our errors, our mistakes. You know what I mean? So thank you, Red, for your contribution.
All right.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. So you still have some time. Wait.
He asked me a lot, so But here's the thing, like I just put in the chat. We can talk all we want to, but there's science that actually that's here. The SLC 24A5, SLC 45A2, OTA2, and HERT2 mutations are here. And it literally shows where these are mutations that actually happen with the Caucasoids, and there were Black Caucasoids who are the original Caucasoids, which are Caucasians. The Caucasians were Black, and they mutated. The mutation.
All right. Okay. Mate. Can you talk? All right.
You didn't stop nobody. So
Look. This is not. Look. Don't do that. Okay. Don't do that. Don't tell me what I'm doing. No. Don't do that. So.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just showing you what you did because you allowed.
Look. Okay. All right. Just no. All right. You get the wrong. That's the wrong energy to be here. So I want to hear you, but again, that's the wrong energy to be here with. If I cannot ask you a question, if I cannot stop you, then there's no need. All right, so let's see. I have somebody else. Okay, so we are talking about FBA, Africans, Blacks, and race war. Is it a distraction? That's what we are talking about. So, okay, you guys say, so Dutch, you had a chance, but you were talking about, you were just contributing to what Red was saying. So what do you think?
It is a distraction. This FBA, from my understanding, stands for Foundational Black Africans. And there's a distraction because, for somebody like me, I'm Nigerian. My parents are both Nigerian. I'm a first generational American, Nigerian American immigrant. And, the energy that I'm trying to bring to this conversation is one of unity. Like, we have to get to that point. We're not there yet because everybody, you cannot blame African Americans for feeling hurt, feeling rejected, feeling all kinds of stuff, having so many questions, you know what I mean, and wanting them answered maybe the way they think it should be answered. Do you know what I mean? But we have to get to that point. But this FBA, African American race, it's a complete distraction, because you know what? Progress is being made in places like Ghana, the year of the return. Red, you mentioned that. We want people to know that, you know what, you actually do come from a place. You were not just to this foreign land and we've forgotten about you. Some of us, we are asking about you. We want you to come back home. We do. But the calling us names like, booty scratchers and things like that, it really hurts for an African. That really offends me. I'm not saying that you're not an African. It's just, yeah.
Well, you should, and I'm sorry because it sounds like you have some emotion attached to that, and that's valid. But the thing is that you have to keep making that distinction that you very much did so when you came in, and I need all people of African descent to do so. When you're talking to a South African, and I'm talking about all groups outside of South Africa, don't lump all South Africans in with the Dudula and the March. They're not all feeling that way.
True.
There are a lot of South Africans that oppose the xenophobic Afrophobia that's going on in South Africa. So
That's
just
true.
because what's publicized, even on social media, is this large conglomerate of South Africans that are against black foreigners. That's not true. There are a lot of minorities.
And you know what, Red,
What you say?
Red, you know what? I've spoken to many Africans and I can say that is true. Because even some of them, they say, yeah, some South Africans say, no, we don't stand with what they are saying. We just, like, they have a totally different ideology. But some people might think all South Africans actually see things this way, but it's not all of them. But the difference is what makes it very hard. What makes it very hard is that it's hard to tell who is who, because now they make it seem as if it's just South Africans in general. It's hard to tell who is against it and who is for it.
And I was using that as
No, wait.
One second, Dutch. I was using that as an example because I was going to transfer it exactly over as an overlay to other groups. When you enter a room, don't assume, and because it's an African American alive, don't assume that everybody in there is FBA. Don't assume everybody's in there pretending. Don't assume when everybody's in there the Hebrew Israelite. So same like when you go to a South African discussion, don't assume that everybody is Dudula or March. Or don't even in current day situations because of what's going on in South Africa, don't assume when you go to a Ghanaian live that everybody's anti-Nigerian. Or in a Nigerian live, everybody's anti-Ghanaian, because this is what the YT the media machine would have you believe.
Yeah.
And this is the distraction. So like when things come about, this is where I land. I know I'm long-winded. When things come about, I seek to find the opposing group. Like when a couple of months ago, there was this big thing of me no black, me no African, Somali discussion. I sought out on TikTok to find the Somali that did not agree with that, and I found them. And they say the same thing that I just said about the other groups. They say the me no black, me no African Somali are a minority amongst us, not the majority. They like, we are Somali and we know that we are black and that we are African, and we don't agree with the rest of these folks.
That is okay, Red. Okay, Red. All right. Yeah, that's a good point. It's just like basically what Red is saying, you have to be mindful and know who you're dealing with. Because just because, when it comes to negativity, a lot of the time it's easy to make negativity popular. It's easy to make it like, the overarching or the umbrella of what the entire group is believing in. So we have to be mindful to understand that not everybody subject themselves to a certain type of mindset. And from the what does that have to do with anything, user? So let's give Lama Nana is your turn.
Hi, it's Mama Nana.
Well, I didn't know that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, now I know.
I'd say, as a younger South African, hearing these discussions and seeing what has become of our comment sections is very sad. You cannot make a single point without people spewing vile and bitter information. A lot of the time, it's not even based in actual research. There's no backing behind it. And behind your main point of race war, a distraction, there was a third force in South Africa just before our democracy, and we're seeing a lot of the same tactics being used currently. Even what was used in our July unrest in I think 2021, where people literally broke down shops and infiltrated people's homes. They were taking things from shops. It just became a thing where whoever wanted to cause a problem was given the platform to cause a problem. And that's currently what I'm seeing, in that the type of characters who are uttering and speaking on our behalf as South Africans are not people who are educated in any of the things that they're saying. They're not people who genuinely interact with foreign nationals on a day-to-day basis. They speak on a generality, on a generalization of saying people only steal, people only buy drugs, and all of that stuff. It's not true. It genuinely isn't true. Most foreign nationals who are here are honest, working people who are here to feed their children. And it is our government's fault for not enforcing the rules that are in our constitution by guarding our border gates and ensuring that we actually have visa processes, that there are standards and check balances that aren't being used currently. And people are just using this as an opportunity to be nasty.
That's a good point, because one thing we always have to ask: how come this situation is getting so out of hand? How come this situation is going so far? And when is the government gonna step in to lead, to
I
say,
think it's too late. It's too late for the
well,
government to step
I'm
in
not
because,
done, Dochi,
even though we're
Dochi.
not saying it, even though
Look, I'm not done. You have to listen, okay? So when is the government gonna step in to actually be able to say to the public what's gonna happen, to lead the public? And guys, let's get back on the topic. But I appreciate your input. Ayema 16. Which government? South African government. The damage is done. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you, Duchess. I wanna hear what you mean about that. Ayema, it's your turn. If you're not ready, then we're gonna move forward with Lady Eagle. Lady Eagle. Guys, let's tap the screen. Let's get the lights up. Yeah, it's your turn.
okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to address the prompt.
Yes.
I think is that prompt about the diaspora wars?
You can take it in different areas that whichever you can choose which one you want to talk about. But the bottom line is it a distraction? So you can go from African way, from American, from blacks, from different areas. But for you, is it a distraction? And if it is, or if it's not, why?
Okay, so I'm a Black American, and I just want to address the prompt in context of if there's a distraction regarding the foundation of Black American delineation, or in other words, I don't want to say foundational Black American, I just want to say Black American delineation. I don't think it's a distraction at all. I do believe that there are people who have a strong way of expressing themselves. That's the best way I can put it. But in a genuine sense, it's not a distraction, because I believe that Black Americans need to be delineated. And I believe that Black Americans are the last group of people who have delineated. And what I mean by delineation is, I don't mean segregation, which is something different than delineation. I mean to be set out as a group so that we can fight for whatever I don't want to say it, so we can work towards whatever we need for our group of people, So I don't think it's like a distraction, even though there could be people expressing themselves in a very strongly way that could cause some friction. But other than that, it's not a distraction. It's very, very real, and there's a lot of changes that are happening in the United States currently now that will come into light as time passes. Because in the United States, everything is about statistics and numbers. And so right now they are just working numbers and doing a lot of things behind the scene. But there are two different groups for Black Americans that are working to make the changes happen so that we can be just termed a group, so that we can be our own group of people. So I don't think it's a distraction. I think it's very necessary for our history and for our generations to come.
All right. So I Red. I think you're Red. You want to say something?
Yeah, absolutely, major distraction. The thing is, like if you examine FBA, and let's make this clear. This is not a belief that, once again, like the Dula March, and all of it, this is a loud minority amongst us. There has never been no confusion throughout history. We have always been delineated. The African American, whether we were black, colored, African American, Negro, we were always delineated. There was no confusion. Nobody was confusing me or anybody else with a Jamaican, with a Haitian, with a Nigerian, and more specifically, a Igbo or Fulani. That the African Americans have always been their own thing. You can't claim to be confused with other or homogenized with other groups, and at the same time claim that you're the most copied, the most emulated, the forefront of the entire diaspora. You gotta pick your
Yeah.
Either you're the most marginalized motherfuckers on earth, and you need to delineate, or you're the most celebrated and copied. I mean, we gotta pick a battle here, people.
Sure.
Do you
Lady.
guys know what I think?
Wait. Let's leave Lady respond. Yeah, respond to rebuttal to that.
From what is going on, I don't think that there's any real difference between a white person and a Black American. And I say that because, even white people have Black ancestors. You know what I mean? I think that we need to start looking at the Black race in that sense. Because I think that, for me as an African, I'm shocked that a Black American would openly deny being African or wanting to be associated with Africans. Some of them, I have to say, a lot of them, so I think we need to actually start looking at them as a whole complete race, if that is possible, because they have a whole different history that they remember. They embrace habits that are not of African nature, according to what they're saying. I just don't think you can force anybody to be part of something they don't want to be. Black Americans, for the most part, don't want to be associated with Africa. And I think that we need to accept that, and we need to push that narrative, and they need to live that narrative, and we also should live our own separate narrative. I don't think a Black American is different from a white person.
Really? Really? Oh, wow. No. Okay. Wait. Let's leave Lady. Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. I just want to respond to the man who responded to me.
To Red.
Yes, I agree with him that you can tell Black Americans from most people who are African and other groups of people. But we have never been separated on paper. Right now, there's a directive. You can go on Congress.gov. They are separating or disaggregating us. We've all been in a group, and all the federal agencies around the United States have until March of 2029 to start separating the information, and then that's when you're going to start seeing all the changes on the forms that's coming up in the United States.
So again, that's not
what it is, because I want to vote on that ballot.
Well, so
there's no ballot. It's already the directive is.
So
it's already. And part of me feels like the reason why we're going so hard is because Black Americans.
Look, all right. Okay, all right. Last point.
Absolutely not true. True thing going on, right? So when you look
at it is a true thing going on. You need to get on Congress.gov.
Yeah, I am. That's why I'm saying that it's not a true thing. So
it is a true thing.
yeah. Ma'am, did I cut you off, ma'am? Please don't.
Yeah, stop that. Come on. Come on.
So, well, first let's address the generalization about African Americans or Black Americans. Let's not do that because the all African Americans don't have proximity to whiteness problems. That's not, like I said. I just spoke on that loud minority, and then you came back and I'm talking about Duchess. You came back and then grouped all African Americans in one pot.
That's crazy.
Back to
Because they make it seem like we're forcing them to be African.
I
Come
am one
on.
of those.
We're so rich, inherited. We don't need to beg anybody to be part of that.
I'm one of those they. You came in praising when I said it before, and I'm one of those they. So obviously we all don't think that way. So we can't generalize. I just made that point
Can you look at the
about
comment real quick? There's a guy
about generalizing South Africans, about generalizing the Somali, about generalizing the Ghanaians. We cannot lump every person into that one minority group that believes
Okay.
something else.
All right, Red. All right, Red.
The government already can tell us apart.
All right,
Of
Red.
the 46 to 50 million Black people in America, they already have them broke down to as who they are.
And
But did you read what Little John just wrote? Something about
all right, you're just annoying me at this point. You keep over talking everybody. No. Ayema, you haven't said a word yet. You've been here just chilling. Ayema. No, I don't. Yeah. Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. The thing is that I've lived in South Africa for 25 years. The problem, all South Africans are not like that. They are companies. What people are not saying, they are companies that are sponsoring these stocks.
Oh.
Because
Really?
companies like ShopRite, Spa. You see, the thing is, the Somalians, they've taken over the Spa industry. That is the shops where people go to buy things. And at the end of the day, clothing shops have been taken over by the Ethiopians. So currently in South Africa, you see people don't go to all these big stores to buy things anymore. They go to the Somalians, they go to the Pakistani. So they are the ones behind this thing. All I'm married to a South African, you understand? All South Africans are not like that. This group are being sponsored. That's why you see them, they go on the street, they give people like 50 rand, they give them t-shirts. You understand? They incite a lot of violence into them. But it's all these companies that are creating this problem, because if you go to all these big stores right now, they are empty. Nobody is coming to them. People are going to the Africans to go and buy things. So they need a distraction, you understand? And they chose these talks, you understand, to be doing what they are doing. So that's just my contribution, because a lot of people don't know. They think, oh, South Africans are xenophobic. They are not all xenophobic, you understand? Some of them are very fantastic people, loving people, you understand? But the thing is, these big corporations, they are losing a lot of money. That is why there are some people in their governments that are hating these guys, you understand? Because when they started this nonsense, they would have brought out soldiers, you understand? Because then I think there was a riot, this human riot, that they looted a lot of things. But when they brought soldiers out, they were able to put that thing under control. But now the government had to wait until Ghanaians start leaving before the president cannot come out and say they want to bring soldiers out to quell this thing. So I'm just addressing this, that those that have the mindset that South Africans are xenophobic, they are not all, they are fantastic people. It's just a particular group of thugs that are committing this problem. Thank you.
No, I appreciate your input, because I cannot, even for me, I couldn't help to entertain that idea, because when you live in a world at this time, 2026, you have to be able to not just believe what you're seeing or hear what you are hearing, but you also have to think about it. Because what you just said, Ayema, it's not that I believe you, but that has a possibility of being true. And we have to really think about it. Why all of a sudden they have reasons why they are doing, the South Africans are doing, basically want illegal foreigners, what they say illegal foreigners, but it also happen to be people who are legal as well. but most of them happen to be business people, people who earn, people who have businesses. So, which companies you said?
Can I
So,
tell you why some of these guys are illegal? You see, there's nobody except people that come through the border, like people from Lesotho. They are close by, and these are neighbors. South Africans go into there, they go into Mozambique. But let me tell you, majority, 90% of the people they are calling illegal came into the country legally. But the thing is, because the immigration system is so corrupt, when these people submit their document, you understand, is for the highest bidder. If you don't have money to grease this guy's farm, they just dust your documents. So now some people are there, you understand, they submitted their documents like 4 or 5 years ago. They've not attended to those documents. And at the end of the day, they come and call them illegal, you understand. Majority of these people enter through the port, through visa. But when they submit their document, like now, if you're married to a South African, you understand, you're automatically given a spousal visa whereby you can start your own business. You understand? This 5 million thing they are shouting here and there, all that, they don't even know what they're talking about. You can start your own business. But as a spouse of a South African, you cannot seek work employment. But you can start your own business. If you bring all these people together, they have documents that they submitted for renewal, some 5 years, some 10 years till now. They refuse to renew those visas, then they come and call them illegal. Thank you.
So, but wait, okay. So there's a lot of notion, there's a lot of conversation. I've heard it many times, Ayema, that for any foreigners to have a business in South Africa, you need 5 million rand, which is equivalent to more than 300,000 US dollars. Does that make sense?
It's for corporation. It's for big corporation. They don't even know those constitution they are claiming. Some of them. It's for corporation. If you are coming, not that you need to bring 5 million physically. You understand? You can have a business idea that will generate 5 million in the next 2 years, but the thing is, you have to employ. This business has to empower South Africans. So a lot of them quote this section in their system. They don't even know what they are quoting. But for you living in South Africa, you understand, if you have a refugee status, the government allows you to start a business. If you're married to a South African, you are allowed to start a business. But the problem, like I said to you, you understand, most of these big shops, I live there, I own businesses there, you understand, before leaving. The thing is, most of these big shops, they are losing money a lot now. They are losing, because you see, the Ethiopians, now when you go to them, most South Africans, they collect these grants, and at the end of the day, they don't have, before they pay that grant at the month end, they go to these Ethiopians, they give them credits. At times, they even borrow them money, you understand? Whereby when the government pays them, these Ethiopians, they pay those monies back. So as a result now, these big companies are losing money. So you can see this group of thugs, you understand? They pay them, including that lady, you understand, that has dated in Nigeria before. Now she's anti-Nigeria. They pay them money, you understand, to create all this problem. They are even attacking fellow South Africans. Once you can't speak a certain language, they attack you. And there are certain elements in the government too that are backing these guys. You can see, if you look at most of their videos, you see when policemen go there, what do? They don't do nothing. But when they go to the white business, they stop these guys. But when they come to the black business owned by these Africans, they allow these guys go like on a jamboree, they allow them to do whatever. That's why you see some of their videos. They are threatening police, and police cannot do them anything. So thank you.
Thank you, Ayema. All right, guys, tap the screen. I know you don't have to be here, but you are here at the same time, so you might as well tap the screen, get a like up. And if you want to join the conversation, you can join. Oh, IBJ, you've been silent for a minute. I don't know if you have anything to say. Then we're gonna move to Cash. IBJ.
Well, actually, what I want to say, Super Life, for me, this is a wake-up call. I do not accept what is happening in South Africa. I've said it many times. But the wake-up call here for me actually is the complete failure of the African Union, the organization of the African unity, because I was expecting to see a lot, a kind of a situation wherein they will intervene to calm things down, because this is what the African Union stands for. But in a situation like this, they've not said a word, they've not condemned, they've not intervened. I think this should show Africa that this institution is like a dying institution. It's not there to serve the purpose, of bringing Africans, Black people together as one. So actually, for me, we should try to look for something else, an institution that will speak for everyone, for everyone, no matter who you are. Because what is happening in South Africa, as I always say, my brother has said it. I'm not saying that all South Africans are xenophobic. No, but at the end of it all, we were expecting more from the South Africans, even those who don't call themselves xenophobic. We were expecting them to come out and condemn what is going on in South Africa, because at the end of it all, it is not fair to the Africans who are there. It is not fair to other African countries, because look like the Ghanaians. Ghanaians have started repatriating their citizens back to Ghana. Is this the answer to African unity? No. Is this the way Africa should treat each other? No. At the end of it all, we are all humans, and people should be treated with respect. These people going around calling Africans migrants, they are not police officers. You have South African laws. Treat people decently. I live in Holland here, and I work for the immigration department. My brother, you will never see an African being beaten here if he overstays, if his visa expires. You have people coming, for example, to the Netherlands. They apply for asylum. They will give them the opportunity, because these institutions, they work for the state. They work to protect people. They will give them the opportunity to request for the asylum, because it is their right, international law, you should be protected if you need protection, and they will go through the asylum procedure. But it will come a time when the Dutch authority will say, okay, look, we don't believe what you've said, what are the problems why you left your country, so you should go back to your country. So
But-
they will ask them to go back
Finish up.
voluntarily. But if they refuse, they will put mechanisms in place for them to be taken back in a civilized manner back to their country of origin, but not the way South Africans are doing it now.
All right. IBJ, to add to what you just said, in the Netherlands or in Europe, in fact, they would even protect them, because they would even protect the foreigners, or the how you call them, the asylum seekers. They'd even protect them. They would assign special police forces to actually keep them protected, to make sure that they are not being harmed. And this is not even their people. This is just strangers. People, like, imagine this. In the Netherlands, as I said before in the beginning of this live, the Dutch people are actually, some, not all, of course, so because they have some of them, in our country there's gonna be different people and different ideologies. But they have a good reason for doing it, though. But some of them are protesting against asylum seekers, but at the same time, they are protecting the asylum seekers. They wouldn't allow any harm to come to them if they can protect them. But you would not hear that. But anyway, Cash, you've been waiting patiently. Cash, have you brought some cash?
Yes, okay. I'm going to bring the conversation back to
FBA. Yeah.
The diaspora war, so you were saying, and if it's a distraction. Me personally, I am half Nigerian on my dad's side. On my mom's side, I'm Black American. and they're very, very much so very proud of being Black American. And on my dad's side, very proud to be Nigerian. So for me, I'm proud to be both, and I have deep roots in both. And so I feel like it's a distraction because in my experience, I was raised by my Nigerian aunts and then also my mom. And so I was experiencing Black American and also Nigerian. My name is very Nigerian. I don't have an American name. It's only Nigerian. And so my experience is as a Nigerian, but at the same time a Black American. And I'm also an educator. And children today, Black American kids, because of the rhetoric being spread to these children, they're calling each other Nigerian monkeys. I don't even know where they got that from. African monkey, all these things that white people would call us. And it's a distraction because why are we denying what we are? You're teaching young Black kids to deny the truth, which is really what white people want us to do. They want to deny the fact that we came from slavery and that they stole us from Africa, and that we unwillingly came here, some of us, and that's why Black Americans were created. So when Black Americans deny that, they're telling white people they're correct and that slavery was a myth and that it's not real and that we came as indentured servants. And the history books, they don't say much about slavery the way that it was back then, which is why it's important for Black Americans to cut the whole we're not African. You can be Black American. Because my nana on my mom's side, she said she's never been to Africa. She's not African. Her mom's not African. She said she will say she's not African. And she was very, very serious about that. But at the same time, she would not deny her ancestors and the fact that there was somebody strong enough to survive and get her where she is. And that's the issue. The fact that we're perpetuating what white people want us to do, which is dismantling our group. Because at one point, we all worked together. Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, they were both trying to do something for Black people, period. The Black people that felt like they were connected to their African roots and their Caribbean roots, the Black people that were strong in being African American. That's why it's distraction, if you get what I'm saying. Who are white people? White people are white people, the government, white people, the people that do not want Black people to work together. That's a very obvious answer. So that's really all I had to say, because my experience comes from both sides, and I'm able to speak from both sides and how it's detrimental to both sides. Also, as on the African side, it's detrimental because I just feel like there are times where Africans speak on African Americans in a certain way, which is why sometimes I feel like I have to disclose to Nigerians or other Africans that I'm only half, because I get treated differently because I am half. Like, they'll say I'm only a halfie, or I know I'm not Nigerian for real, but like, I'm Nigerian, like, at the end of the day. And at the same time, I'm also Black, and then Black Americans say that because I'm half Nigerian, I'm not Black American. But I have family members that have really strong ties in Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, like, so that's really where I'm coming from. I just feel like we should be together, because I'm a manifestation, a physical manifestation of when African Americans and Africans are able to come together in this big.
All right, that's all right. All right, that's
Super Life,
that's a
she
W.
said something that was very important.
That's a W.
I don't know if anybody caught it. In the beginning, when Black people, regardless of what part of the sector of the world they come from, when they go against other Black people, they say white t-shirt. Go back home.
Yeah.
When a Black person tells another Black person, go back home, I'm always matter of fact, the facial expression when I just said it, when that you just had.
Yeah, like what?
Every fucking time.
Like what? Like
facial expression. When another Black person tells another Black person, go back to where you come from. I'm like, what? This is the whitest shit in the world that you can say.
And then the person, Mr. Unexpected, saying us, and then differentiating me from African American and not including me in the group, saying us as if I'm other. That's what I'm talking about as someone who is both, and why it is a distraction. Because at the end of the day, I'm both. Period.
And at the same time, Cash, you didn't choose that, Cash, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like it's infuriating. It's very annoying. It's like, okay.
Exactly. I didn't tell my parents to meet, and here I am being Nigerian and African American again. I'm the only person out of all of my family that does not have an American name. So there's no
this, that, I'm Nigerian. My name sounds very Nigerian.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, I always felt other whenever and I grew up in Black and African. Oh, sorry, this person said call them. What do you, I don't even know. Black American. My mom said African American. She was born a Negro, so I don't. You know, at the end of the day, period. Like I don't know. I don't know. My nana calls herself African American. My mom, she calls herself African American. So I'm gonna call myself African American because that's what my mom. And I literally am literally African American. So that's just what it is.
So
That's why
yeah,
I say African
yeah,
American.
Cash, just stay. Hold on, Red. One minute, Red. Look, Cash, just stay strong because again, this is a type of self-hatred that they are actually trying to, or self-hatred, but also confusion that they're trying to put in you because. At the end of the day, you didn't choose your parents. It just happened. So now this is the life, this is the reality you have to live into. So people are just basically trying to say, well, you should be this, you should be that. What you should be is what you decide to be, Cash. That's the most important thing. Do not allow anyone to just try to label you in any way.
Exactly. Because if you want to search Manning Marable, that is my family member. My family used to own the land that the Atlanta airport is literally on. I have deep Black American roots. We're real Black, and I'm real Nigerian. You could Google my grandpa. So I'm very proud of being both, and I also love I just love being both because I'm able to see the beauty and the strength and the talent and the intelligence from both sides and how strong and great of a people Black people as a whole are, and then I'm able to see for Black Americans the greatness in I love being this.
Keep it like
seeing the greatness in Black Americans and seeing the greatness in Africans. That's really it.
that's a W. Keep it like that, Cash. Keep it like that. All right, Red. I don't know. Oh, we have somebody new, guys. Let's stop this.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, go on.
The guy in the comments said, "What's wrong with saying going back home?" If you have to ask that question,
What?
it's the biggest problem in the world. This is a white tea sentiment. Go back home, especially when, in most cases, where our people ended up where we didn't want to be. We didn't ask to be here. And then you have another demographic saying, go back home. And this is what white tea people would say to you. After we go back home, they're going to turn to you and tell you to go. I mean, we're going to see you on the ship right after us, the plane right after us, because after we go back home, they're going to ask you to go back home.
So wow. So it's but Red, maybe some people don't understand where did this ideology came from, like they go back or that statement came from. Some people don't understand, they don't know it, they don't know the root of it.
Can we have a real balanced conversation?
Okay, look, Duchess, come on, wait, Duchess, that's the only thing.
Made a point.
No,
Being able to talk to people in chat and people that are on live. Brea just made.
Duchess, wait. You have to wait. I want to hear your point, but you have to hold on. Okay? Be patient. Yeah, chill. I know you're. Yeah.
Some people don't know the history behind the things that they say. Like when I say, if you line up, and then this is real quick. If you take and Google what are the ideologies of white tea supremacy or even the alt-right group, and then Google what are the tenets of FBA or even the doula, and set them side by side. There is no difference. The main tenet, one of the biggest tenets of white tea supremacy, the alt-right group, is that there is another group coming to replace them, i.e. the small hats. When you look at FBA, they claim that there's a group that's coming to replace them, i.e. anybody that's not Black American. That's coming to replace them. That the media is all lies. That nobody tells the truth. This is what white tea supremacy claims, that everything is controlled by the small hat. So you can't trust education. You can't trust the news. You can't trust what people say. These are the same things that FBA claim. These are the same things that the doula claim. When you see anti-Blackness, you see white tea supremacy. I don't care if it has a black face.
Ooh, somebody cannot take that. Dunde, you haven't had a chance to say anything yet. Dunde. Reddy's on fire.
Sorry?
No, I'm saying Reddy's on fire. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
your turn.
I want to talk on a South African point of view.
Yeah.
I've been hearing my brothers here, Red and Oyema, if I'm not mistaken. Red over here just mentioned that um, when you see another black man telling another black person to go home, and then he mentions the white people. I think from what is currently going on in South Africa with this perspective, when they say our African brothers should go home,
What is
it
black?
is only because for now South Africa is currently having economic issues at the moment, and having those African brothers over here overwhelm the country because the majority of the South Africans are unemployed, and there's also drugs going on. There's a lot of issues currently going on in the country, and also. Oyema once also mentioned that there's no problem with our African brothers being here because they are opening their businesses and operating and doing all that. So, and he opposed, he said, we are talking dumb things when you say you must meet the 5 million capital investment. It is true. I think our African brothers should make a research and try and find out about the South African laws. Law is law, guys. Law is law. You don't open small businesses in South Africa if you're a foreign. The small businesses are only for South Africans. Businesses like a tuck shop, a spaza shop, a saloon, and all of those things. Unless when you want to open a business, you must meet there's 5 million rand capital investment. It's not only for corporation. If you are a foreigner, you must invest 5 million rands. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I got a question for you then. So you're saying I'm considered a foreigner if I would go to South Africa. So you're saying if I go to South Africa, I want to open a spazi shop. Basically, guys, what is spaza shop? Basically, it's a corner store or a toko for some countries. So I would need 5 million, which is 300,000 US dollars. Bodega, yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Of which, yes, you must register the shop. The shop must be registered with SARS as well because you'll be also be taxed by SARS.
So wait.
You
So
need
okay.
visa today.
So wait. I don't understand. So you need. Okay, I do understand the business need to be registered. That's normal. That's like to be able to pay tax, to be able to do a tax return. You need to register your business. Yes. But apart from that, you need to have 5 million.
A spaza shop is an informal business.
Okay. So only that type of shops, only that type of business. So if I would want to open let's say if I would want to open like a clothing store, would I still need that?
If it is a big business,
If it,
maybe like let's say all the other brands, the brands that are known worldwide,
Okay.
then you need to register it. If it's going to be an informal selling of clothes, then you can't.
Okay, all right.
This stuff is not balanced. So,
It's not making sense.
One question I would have is if for every spazzy shop that's shut down, how many South African jobs are created?
Sorry, just to correct what you
Sorry.
said, it's the 5 million investment, and it's also if it's in the public interest. So a bodega or a spaza shop is in public interest because it provides
So are you also South
to the
African?
community. Yes, I am.
She is.
Okay, so for every spazzy shop that's shut down, because I mean we only get what we get as far as social media, et cetera, et cetera. So for every spazzy shop that's shut down, how many South African jobs are created?
That's a good question.
It's minimal because they've turned these puzzle shops that people have reported and like blown up sometimes as a result of the xenophobia. They've turned them into these Scooby shops, which is like it's basically like the Walmart where you self-service. So there's a guy that'll make you pay, but there's not much jobs being created there. It's probably 2 or 3 people packing at the back. and there's the person who makes you pay.
What?
So
So
would you say that? And this is just a quick question. Would you say if all black immigrants were shipped out of the country, would that change the employment of black South Africans?
Minimally, because we are all being exploited. I was employed by a white Afrikaans man who we are still fighting him at the CCMA because we were being paid 150 Rand, which is it's almost the equivalent of what, $10 per
wow, dang.
And absolutely, I 100% agree with you. And this is across the board. So even in America, right? You have black Americans claiming that the root of their issues and their problems are other black people immigrated to the country. And they can't prove it. Whenever I'm on a panel, they say black immigrant this, black did that, black Nigerians, the Haitians or whatever. And I ask every time, what job did you not get because of a black immigrant? What loan did you not get from a bank because of a black immigrant?
The thing is,
What? Who owns the
it's
store?
on the chest.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Hold on. What store? Like when I go into a black neighborhood in the United States, the stores owned by people, foreigners. They're not black foreigners. They're Asian. They're Arab.
Yeah.
So when you go, even in South Africa, and I love the comparison because our civilizations mirror each other in so many ways, even to the white tea hierarchy. Why are we not going over to Cape Town and taking that smoke that we got for black immigrants over there? Because these are the people that own 70% of the aggregate farmland. These are the people that dictate the economy. These are the people that control the borders in which these schmugs are coming across. Why are we not taking the fight to the Afrikaans?
Okay, that's your turn now. Let me see your name. Ndunde. Ndunde.
It would be my turn.
You okay? Yeah. It's been a while, Duchess. But Duchess,
Look at that. I almost got forgotten.
no, because you anyway. So what did you want it to say?
So Brianne had a question for me. And, I guess, I mean, the way I'm looking at it like, listen, nobody's gonna beg you to drink water when you're thirsty, okay? Right now, Black Americans are thirsty on so many levels. They don't know where they come from. They're pain. There's so much going on. Africa is not about to run to your doorstep and beg you to come home. We don't do gentle parenting. I've been on so many of these lives with, around the same subject. Most of them don't want to be called African, and I agree. They are not African. They are not any more African than the white man. Okay? Because the white man also has African heritage. He has African DNA. So, so what I'm basically saying is, please remain in America and stop thinking we all speak Swahili. I don't even know what the hell that is. You know what I mean? And I do speak my own language. It's called Igbo. We don't want you guys to feel like Africa is big. We don't need your contribution. Just do the best that you can in America.
Wait, Red.
Find that indigenous history of yours. Put it on National Geographic. We want to know this stuff. We want to, oh my God, Black people. Just like they have Black people in India, in the Jarawas, So no, you guys are definitely not African American. You are Black Americans. And I'm sorry to call you Black. I'm sure that really hurts your soul because you don't want to be associated with anything Black. But, that's where we're at. You want to be what you want to be that.
Okay, Duchess, what is your wait? Hold on, Red. Duchess, what is your intention, Duchess? What is truly your intention?
No, Brad, I know you're a little different, but I can't. You know what I mean? I feel like this is let me tell you, I'm really pained by this conversation.
Yeah, who are you talking to? What is your intention?
Be like this.
What is your intention?
Who are you talking to on this panel?
I'm talking to Black Americans, the ones that came out of shit.
I was on another panel with Duchess last night. She came.
Oh, Brianne. Okay.
And I asked you last night.
Listen, I'm about to lie to y'all, dude.
Wait, Duchess, wait. I asked you last night. Who were you talking to? Because you were on a.
I don't remember you. I'm sorry. Okay, everybody was talking. I know you're rage baiting. I know you're rage baiting.
I am pretty sure.
I'm not gonna beg, dude. Let me put it this way, dude. Africa, we don't do gentle parenting. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to act a fool, you're gonna get treated like one.
Yeah, but
Okay? If you don't want to acknowledge that
Okay,
you're
okay,
African
wait,
descendant,
wait,
then by all
okay,
means,
wait,
be lost.
okay, wait. Hold on. Look, you guys not gonna use my platform. I feel like this is something internally between you two.
no. I don't even know her. What I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
What I'm trying to tell
You're
you
gonna be
is
quiet
that
right now.
when
That's
I
what you're
asked
gonna
her
be. You're gonna
last
be
night,
quiet. I have no ancestors that
Holy
came here on
shit,
a
I'll
fuck
let
this
you
shit.
done.
I'm gonna tell you that.
Okay. All right.
So when I asked her that, because I don't know if you know OHF, we're pro-black, we're pro-African, and she came just like she came here. We're like, what are you talking about, and who are you talking to? And she,
You know
she
why?
told me
You know why?
last
I
night.
have geniuses in my family, so we don't really have a lot of patience for people that are not very
And
quick on the
asked
uptake.
her, wait a minute, can you wait till I'm done talking?
Duchess.
Well,
Okay, hold on, Duchess. Okay, wait, Red, fairly, with your.
How are you gonna take time, steal time from
Okay,
my time,
look,
and then tell me to be quiet? Are you crazy?
no, Duchess, chill. I got you. Red, to be fair, to be fair, Red, she didn't finish her time. So let her finish saying what she have to say. Duchess.
I waited till she finished. Her time.
No. I saw it. No.
Thank
I
you
saw
so
it.
much, Super Life. Okay, because can you imagine? I have a part of me that knows when to just be okay. Let me just take the back seat. You know, let me not say anything. Can you imagine
somebody
if I did not mention that this guy really actually snatched my? Can you mute him? Because you mute me.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you. So what I'm trying to say here, I'm a Nigerian.
angry like that?
No, Bubalika. Sorry, I don't want to click on your name because I don't want the echo. Let me put it this way, okay? I came back to this country when I was 13 years old. I was expecting a white person to be racist towards me. I was expecting that. I expected that. That's not what happened. What happened was it was a black American, yes, a black American that told me, go back to your country, booty scratcher, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I never expected that from a black person. But that was not the only instance. The thing is, there is some unspoken rage that black Americans have towards Africans, and I'm not here for it. You know what I mean? Your ancestors were sold, some were snatched up. It's horrible what happened. I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody that I love. Okay, that happened. But one thing I'm not gonna sit back and take is your abuse. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are not gonna tell me to go back to Africa. You're not gonna act like I'm taking resources from you. I pay taxes too. Okay? So no, white America does not respect you. How dare you step up to Africans thinking that we're gonna bow to you just because you've been here 300 years more than we have?
Okay. Wait. Don't say nothing yet. Nobody said nothing yet. I mean, look. If you guys really listen to Duchess, this is her.
So basically, that's where I'm coming
Duchess.
from. I
Yeah.
don't wanna
Okay.
sound like I hate these people. My stepmother.
That's
is
your
Black
story,
American,
yeah.
and I love her. Okay? So for me to talk like this, oh my God. I wish I could like invite everybody. I don't know if she has a TikTok. Invite everybody, you know, so we can all have like this. But this is not my page. This is your page. And this is something that I have to deal with on my own. But I'm just tired of black Americans thinking they can talk anyhow to African immigrants. Do not do that. Don't do that. You don't have the right. Your law doesn't even respect you. If you commit the same crime as a white person, you get life. The white person gets a chance for parole. If anything, they may not even get charged.
Okay.
So
All right. Duchess. Okay. I hear you, Duchess. But what we don't want to do is the tit for tat. I hear you. I just want to be honest. I hear your pain, your story, and it's it's truly unfair for you that you had to go through this situation. But again, I don't think you're generalizing, I would say, but at the same time, I don't want it to be in a situation where it's like, you did this to me, I'm gonna do this to you, you did this to me, because now you're gonna express the worst case of the black community, but that's not the majority. But again, that's a different situation. But Duchess, did you actually went to therapy? Did you went to find a way to talk about? Did you handle the situation?
I don't go to therapy for this kind of nonsense. I go to therapy for my personal life. I'm not. Look, I don't.
But okay. But why not? Why not?
Because of just their mindset. You know, that's stressful. If something is stressing you, you don't go around it. You know, in my culture, in my family, we are more encouraged to marry a white tea person than a black American. Hell no. Hell no. And there's a reason.
We got some self-hate going on here. So
No, we just don't tolerate lazy people.
So again, okay,
Don't
yeah.
tolerate
What I'm talking about.
All right, Duchess. No, wait. Okay, all right.
Let's pass you.
Well, I need to make this point.
No, wait.
Because, like I said, we were on a panel just last night. And I asked, I said, why are you coming with all of this vitriol here? Because we are all pro-black, pro-African, and know that we're African. And she typed me in the comments, this is stemming from another panel. So
Really?
once again, I asked, who is she talking to on this panel? We don't have not a African American here or FBA here. There was earlier, but there's no FBA here to battle against.
Yeah, and this is not a battle
AOs
either.
here to battle against.
Yeah,
There's nobody here confirming. I mean, for the most part, you're in a company of shared thinkers.
facts.
Well, who are you battling against?
Yes.
There's
Again,
nobody here for you. There's no adversaries here.
so basically, we are saying read the room. I understand. Read the room. Understand the energy that is here. I get it. Duchess, that you went through this situation, but you say you don't need to go to therapy for it. But again, that's why I'm trying to understand what is your objective. But I think your objective is to not only tell your story, what you've been through, but at the same time to talk ill against a generalizing. Hey, bro.
She's not speaking to the prompt.
Bro, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. All right. To generalize, but at the same time, not only to generalize, but to paint a broad brush over just Black Americans or just Americans that are whoever they want to call themselves, Black Americans, Afro Americans, whatever. Just Americans that are not Caucasians. But anyway, let's give Lamanana. I'm gonna say your name wrong again. It's your turn, It's your turn. Lamanana. If you're not ready, then we're gonna move to the next person. Bubbles Max. Your name is Bubbles Max?
Yeah, Bubbles. I'm from Jamaica. Yeah.
Oh, what's up?
I'm a pro-African.
Wagwan.
African, my mind, my thinking, my soul, and everything.
Right.
But somebody said something, said, you can't be black and don't come from Africa,
I could not hear you.
With all features, with all features. The features, but some of them may get a lighter skin color, something because, migration and things. But the problem I have, we're the only set of people don't call ourselves Africans. If we're born in Britain, we say we're British. We're born in Jamaica, we're Jamaicans. We're born in Trinidad, we're Trinidad. Born in America, we're Americans. But yet still the Indians call themselves Indians. Wherever they are, whether they're born in India or they're born in Pakistan the same way, the Chinaman the same way, the Caucasian them the same way. See? So something? The problem through me here, this lady I vent hard. She's an African, but she's venting hard. I've been to the States. People tell me to go back where I come from. I don't really take it that way because they don't really understand. Some of these people don't really understand them true culture. Just look upon them and say what they've been through. See, what they've been through, God, trust me. Black American never have a life easier with the Caribbean. Yeah, trust me, my ancestors, See, so some of us don't really know what culture, what history, and what. So we see our next man, we're programmed to see our next black person to show hate. We're programmed to do that.
Fact.
Some of us buy into it. You dig what I say? But don't make sure like a one person kind of or a set of people say, you got good, you got bad everywhere. You got good, you got bad everywhere. Look on the South African situation we are going on. See, most of these people they're trucking out their country is the same people was there for them in apartheid time, The Tanzanian, the Zimbabwean, all of these people, the Nigerian, the Ghanaian. Where I come from, most of the people who run away was refugees into other countries in Africa. I listened to a lady in an interview say her first passport as a South African was a Nigerian. So this is the thing.
What the-
What we do to each other.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Bob Marley said, "You Africans unite, man, until the day we start look at each other as equal." No matter where Peter touch it, no matter where we come from, we are Africans. Now we've tribe are this and this, that. We're the most, your mama tell us something, we're the most blessed people on earth, you know, but we don't realize that because we forget with history. Most of us don't know history. Even some of the people who live in Accra Boland don't know them history. Because them get colonized as well. So who book we are reading? The colonizers book. The colonizers paid our history for us. And the people who don't know our history, them get shipped out and get unalive and put into in asylum, say they're mad. And all these things, come on, man, we could go back and search for ourselves, man, search for old man and live. You know the thing we feel like, religion, that's one of the things we've tear down too. And we never know nothing about them sitting there. Come and go think as one, man. That's how we say. Just remember with history, remember our footprint. Because we are the greatest set of people from gather. Go check out with history. Thank you for the opportunity. Me feel your pain, but everybody are the same. See?
Yeah.
Alright,
Rastafari. I mean, guys, I was laughing. How you call him? Bubbles. I was laughing because some people didn't understand. I think you guys understood what he's saying. You guys just pretending you don't understand, because if you speak English, you basically almost can understand every dialect. You just have to listen closely. All right. Yeah. So, like, seriously, I was laughing because some people were saying translate for me. Like, you just gotta listen closely. But he said a lot of gems. If you really were not trying to, yeah. What's up, Doc? Doc I. How you doing? Doc I. Guys, let's follow my account.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, brother, for having me to be up here.
Appreciate you, Doc I.
And this topic is over and over again. And to me, it's kind of sad, you know, that we keep on, you know, this argument. Africans don't like Black Americans. Black Americans are saying they are not Africans and all that. For me, my brother, I think it's better be what you want to be, as far as you don't go against the success of other Black men. Be what you want to be. Africans are not telling Black Americans, leave your country and move to Africa. Nobody's telling you leave your country and move to Africa. Stay there. If you find it good, stay there. We got thousands of Black Americans moving to Africa because of what they're going through. You understand me? Africans, traditionally, it has been in their nature of traveling. It's not necessarily because of economic reason. Africans have been traveling for years, for thousands of years, and that has been in us. It's not because of the economic is hard. You understand what I'm saying? And when I look at it, I don't want to see, for me, I have more Black American friends. I live in Germany. You understand me? I have more Black American friends than Africans. You understand me? But when I look at it, sometimes it's kind of, this is a reverse hatred. Because when you say Africans don't like Black Americans, that's a lie. That's a lie. So one can tell a lie. The lie travels and get effect while the liar is hidden. Who brought this lie? Africans, they admire Black Americans. We were not taught in my country, Nigeria, that you should hate Black Americans. There's no family that taught us that go ahead and hate Black Americans. No, that's a lie. Who brought this lie? Now let's look at this. You Black Americans, you never been in Africa before. Most of you just recently. You say we live in the bush. You say we live in the trees. You say we live with monkeys. You say we live in giraffe. Who taught you that? It is the white man taught you that. You never been in the continent. How did you know that? We live with giraffes, we live with chimpanzees, we live with monkeys. How did you know that?
How did you know?
Okay, now, Black Africans start coming to America. It's the same, the white, your slave master children who taught you how Africans they live in the trees. The same thing, they start telling Africans, oh, you know what? Don't put a mix of Black Americans. They will introduce you for drive-by shooting. They will introduce you by carjack. They will introduce you by robbery. You see, the same master that taught you that, now telling the Africans that come to Americans, don't mix up with them. So who is in between the black Americans and the Africans? It's the same the white men. And you're going to tell us that we love white men more than you guys? Man, check this out. No African student who went to the US and school. That's why I say it's a reverse hatred. The black Americans, they bully the Africans in the campus more than the whites. What is your last name? Chukudi? What's all that?
Yeah. Chico,
Even though
what?
African bully Russia, the black Americans, they bully the Africans even more than the whites. Let's be honest now. Your comedians, you make your comedians, you make joke of Africans with their language, with their accent, with everything. So how did you come and say we hate you? That's a lie. We are one people, and if you don't want to be African, that's fine. Nobody is telling you to move to Africa, but we are telling you your ancestors is from Africa. The history is there. All the slave castle is all over West Africa and East Africa and Central Africa. It's not a made up thing. So if you deny it, fine. But the white people, the whole world know where you came from. Your president, Trump, he never denied that his father is not from Germany, where I am now. He never denied it. He never denied his mother is not from Scotland. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
True.
How are you going to tell me you are indigenous? You don't have no language. You don't have no traditional clothes. You don't have no a burial site that you can tell us religiously, academically, scientifically. You cannot
Should
prove.
really.
No proof you can prove that you are indigenous. Show me one burial ground where they bury your ancestors. No. Show me one. The Native American, they have their costume, they have their dance, they have their name. They speak English. We, the Africans, who were colonized by the British, we speak English, but our name was not taken. Our language is there, our tradition is there, because colonizing and slavery is a two different thing. For me, I have respect for Black Americans. They have done a lot and still doing a lot and still going through in a country where they have sacrificed. So I won't advise any African to mock on them or disrespect them. But yes, we have to stand on the truth.
Yeah.
Don't come up all the time and say Africans they hate you, they hate you. That's a lie. You hate yourself, and you want to put that in us. That's the reverse. You are the one who always laugh at our accent. You laugh at our language. You laugh at our last name. You laugh at our dance. You say we live with animals. But when
Okay.
you check today, the whites, they live in animals more than the Africans. So
Yeah.
white people in Florida,
Okay.
they have alligator in the house. They have snake in the house. Mike Tyson was having a lion, the white lion in the house. Michael Jackson was having a chimpanzee. So what you gonna say about that?
Okay, Doc I. All right. I think you've said enough. Thank you.
God bless you.
Appreciate you. God bless you too.
Peace, man.
Appreciate. Guys, follow my account. You know one thing about it, Doc I, is that you can say it, they can hear you say it in your with your own words, that you don't hate Black Americans, that you love, that you want, that you admire them. Some people they it's a mental condition basically. Some people, they can believe what they believe so strongly that they don't give space to any new information. And you have to really be mindful that you don't waste your time arguing with these people. Some people would hear your words, they will believe you, and some won't. But some people also say that, you have to show it through action, which is another thing. So if you gonna say, okay, well, you love, Lee, for some reason, I gotta remove you, Lee. I don't know what you did, Lee. You said something that was consuming substance. You said something wrong, Lee. All right, guys, you have to behave, or else the platform is gonna kick you out. Anyway, guys, let's tap the screen, follow, and share share the live as well. I think you, Lamanana, it's your turn, Lamanana.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I think more than anything, this debate is highlighting the fact that the CIA, the CIA, yes, and the people who killed Malcolm X,
On a live and
who also killed Steve Biko, were very successful in separating us from our ties to each other. The debates that we're having right now, and the fact that we're talking about anecdotes. Yes, it's sad to have a personal experience that is not that good from another Black person. but you will also have a bad experience from another Black person in your culture. Does that mean that people in your culture are bad, that they treat people horribly? I don't think it helps us in any way for us to continue to focus on the negativity and the anecdotal experiences instead of highlighting our the things that we have in common. The fact that we have similar cultures, the fact that things from the continent have spread across the diaspora despite us not being together for a very long time. Even during the civil rights period, and during the anti-apartheid period, we had leaders who were working together, talking together, spreading the exact same messages to the Black people, telling the Black child that you are important, you are strong, and you are Black. We are all African. These are the type of messages that were spread. However, you see what's happening in the comment section, people talking about tongue clicks and things like that. We don't need to be engaging in such disrespect of each other.
Exactly.
When white people don't see us.
Yeah.
They genuinely don't see us. When you go to any country, be it you are Ghanaian, be it you are Caribbean, you are African American, all they see is a Black person. That's all they see.
Facts. Yeah.
So us arguing between each other and wanting to kill each other, being upset with each other, how does that help anything? And at the end of the day, they are still going to disadvantage the same Black face because all they see is the Blackness. They don't see your education, they don't see your passports. All they see is that you're a Black person. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm able to join. Appreciate you. That was a very insightful, very enlightening. Wait, I don't think you are able to join, Lee, but come out of the app, close the app, and return. It says, yeah, it had to put you down. So, she really spoke. If anybody, let me see, Yoruba, Prince, guys, let's tap the screen, y'all. Guys, you're gonna be here. You choose to be here. So might as well just tap the screen. Do you have to say please? Come on. Like up and share and follow. If you're gonna be here, just exercise your little fingers or your strong fingers. And Yoruba Prince, I'm at work.
What's up?
Hey.
Yeah, am I supposed to speak on the prompt now?
Yes, that's the goal.
All right. Yeah, so racism is definitely a distraction, but we do have issues between each of our communities that people need to discuss. And I know Red. Red is a cool guy, cool African-American dude. I think the issue is when Africans want to express the trauma and the things they've been through and the experiences, people keep saying, well, I didn't do it. So there needs to be some clarification and there needs to be some community cleanup. Well, there needs to be a community cleanup as far as the African-American community. Very great group of people, amazing, nice, but they do have bad actors like all communities. And the African-Americans that are traumatizing Africans, not enough is being done to address that. There are lots of aggrieved Africans who either don't want to be in community or business with African Americans because of those experiences that they had. And it's not something about go get therapy because it's still happening today. Therapy will even tell you, separate yourself from your abuser, right? So I don't have to go into the detail about ABS and all that scratcher and tongue clicks and many of the things Africans went through in the school system and at the workplace. But it sucks that it happens. And as somebody who went to school in America and I went to school in Africa, I went to school in both. I didn't even realize that some African Americans were so cruel to Africans until I came back. Because when I went to Africa, I gained an accent temporarily. And it was then that I realized, like, oh my goodness, like African Americans can be very brutal to other Black people. Some of them. I only say that because I have mad love for African Americans, but this game people play where it's like, oh, it happened in 5th grade, get over it. That is happening today. People are bullying people in the workplace today. People are alienating and outcasting Africans today. Something has to be done about it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Yoruba. Something has to be done about it, and we are doing something about it. And so, you just said a couple of things that I think I want to highlight when you say some people would say, well, you can unmute yourself, Yoruba. Some people would say, well, it's not me or it didn't happen to me. Basically, minimizing someone's experience with a true situation that took place with them. And you said when it comes to therapy, then you say, what did you say about therapy, that they shouldn't do it? I think you can still join, Lee.
Well,
Lee, you can still stay.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I do feel like telling somebody to go get therapy is it can be kind of condescending because it assumes that the burden is on them to like fix something when there's nothing wrong with them. Therapy is mostly for people that have like emotional or personal trauma.
Okay.
But when people like, for example, I wouldn't go get therapy for white people being racist towards me. There's no, unless it's like there's nothing for me to do, because if I go out and I get the therapy and they're still going to be racist towards me, that doesn't change anything. I'll get therapy forever.
Okay. No. But okay, that's the thing. Therapy is not one-sided. It's not saying that, okay, you need to be fixed. There's a problem with you and you need to be fixed. Wouldn't you say, Yoruba, that to hear someone like basically you've been here, you've heard what Duchess said of her experience with how she's been bullied, how she's been undermined, how she's been basically talked down on. Therapy would be useful in order to help her to maintain, to rebuild, and also to rebuild her mindset, and also to not allow this sort of whatever labels that they've been placed on her, to not internalize them, to be able to not let it be anger in her, to basically to find a constructive way of actually living with it. So look, sometimes a solution is not only doing one thing. Sometimes a solution has to do with different things. You mentioned if there's danger around you, the best thing to do if you don't want to be harmed is to get away from the danger. So meaning that what you could do, what a lot of people tend to do as well, I've heard it from the FBAs of the Black Americans or Afro Americans, whatever you want to, just Black Americans. I've heard that they say that when some foreigners come to their country, they tend to stick amongst themselves. That's one way that they do. They stick amongst themselves. But at the same time, therapy is useful. It's not what I understand what you mean, because I understand that notion. Sometimes people can say, oh, you need therapy, basically undermining what you're saying, or not just basically saying, okay, well, I don't want to hear you. For me, that's not from the standpoint I was coming from with it. I was saying, okay, if this is so heavily in your heart, if this is making you feel so angry, and if this is so, you need to find ways that you actually make sense out of it. It's not about, it isn't to dismiss. I do understand. He has a real good point, because some people really do use therapy as to dismiss you, to say, okay, I don't want to hear your trouble. Just go to therapy and talk to a therapist about it. But that's not from the standpoint I'm coming from.
Very much understood, but I still do believe that therapy wasn't something that she will need for the continuance of certain people in the African American community not respecting Africans.
Okay.
That is something the African American community has to fix within itself.
Okay, but do you understand? Okay, but do you understand as well? There's her, and there's the you say African community, but it's not African community, Black community, but it's more there's her, and there's the people that she was dealing with, that her circle of people that was in her environment. Because we have to admit it, not all Africans that go to America experience the same thing that she's experienced. Because I've talked to some Africans that are living in Africa who told me that they don't experience that they have a good relationship with Black Americans. So there's her and there's these people. You say you don't think she need it, but you wouldn't know what she need. How would you know what she need?
She also said she doesn't need it. She would rather go for personal issues. But I think we're kind of going in circles right now.
No, we are not. We are.
Real quick, I just feel like it's being very much downplayed. I've heard this sentiment before from many Africans. I mean, it is anecdotal, so I don't have the statistics on it.
All right.
But I have heard that sentiment before. What she has said is not new. I've heard many Africans talk about their experiences with certain African Americans not being the best, whether it's in school or the workplace. And I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice if we lie about that, because I've heard it even on this panel. There was just a man who spoke, who set up some of the stereotypes that he's heard, and that that he's expected white tea people to bully him, but it was actually Black Americans. So there's this thing that's happening where I do feel like Africans are kind of like, what they're saying is like, oh, it's just you that experienced that. I would say that there's a good amount of Africans that have experienced this, which means that it's clearly a large part of African American culture to disrespect Africans.
All right, I hear you, Yoruba. Okay, Charlie, Lee, you're gonna have to wait. Charlie, I hope you bring some what you said.
Can I please speak?
I am. I think it's kind of ironic that the person beneath me is making the comments that he's making, considering that he doesn't see that disrespect is coming from every angle. And anybody who can get online and just come off mute and just, go out in rage, they definitely need some therapy. I'm a licensed clinical psychotherapist, so I'm here to tell him that she definitely could benefit from some therapy. But neither here nor there. To speak to the point, I think one thing that Africans are missing is that the conversation of what just went on within our community had nothing to do with Africans. But yet when we held our panels and we were doing and talking about our lineage and our ancestry, they came into our space positing that they were experts on us, trying to convince us that we're all the same. Race is a social construct. It's not a indicator of relationship to one another. It's okay that we're not all the same. And differences amongst different cultures and people, diversity is beautiful. If people just celebrate themselves for who they are, that's wonderful. We celebrate ourselves for who we are. Why are we having conversations about our identity when we know exactly who we are? The issue is that Africans are coming into America thinking that we are Africa's lost children. We're the slave kids that nobody knows. We don't have a homeland. We don't have a language. Well, you say that, but we do, and we speak it to each other. Sometimes we speak and you can't understand what we're saying. We speak the King's English sometimes to get jobs, and we do the double consciousness like W.E.B. Du Bois said back in his Soul of Black Folks. But we know our language. Mind you, we don't speak any African language. There's not one African language or any remnants of African language in our tongue. But yet and still, you can say, well, you don't have an indigenous language. We do. We don't have an African language. It's just like the things that Africans are saying and doing to prop themselves up on us, trying to be xenophobic, is internal hatred towards us that they don't see. There is a stereotype that y'all believe that we're uneducated, we're lazy, we're sorry, we all of these things. I mean, that's been happening. We heard it. We even heard the lady that was crashing out saying those same things. It's like you didn't need very much, to be able to come out with all of those negative stereotypes. You just kind of just came out with all of that stuff. It didn't take much for you to do that. Well, whereas it's me, even if an African was to talk crazy to me, I don't have to go to try to like tearing you down or be hateful with you in order to express myself or express my position. But that's always what it comes down to. And then the other guy was like, the YT told you we living in huts and we doing all these kind of things. But meanwhile, you're up here regurgitating what the YT told you about us. You're telling me that my history based on what you learned from the YT. And then you're saying even the YT know where you came from. Even the YT knows this. It's like, how are you talking in double tongues like that? One minute you understand that these people are liars and colonizers, and the next moment they're only telling the truth about us. So for me, it has to come to a point where people have to start being realistic. What we really want from people is to stay out of our business. Whatever we got going on, whatever's going on within our ethnicity, that's for us to talk about. That's for us to deal with. We don't need external factors coming in. We don't need to have other people coming in trying to identify us and give us what they think needs to happen. That's kind of weird. And I'm gonna get ready to wind it down, but I really think that if people want to move forward, stand in pride in who you are and let us do the same thing. Because what we got going on, our lineage is distinct. It's distinct to our group. Regardless of what anybody might feel, anybody might think. I don't hear one African get up on any of these panels saying, I'm looking for my lost relatives. I never have heard that. I never hear them say, I got a cousin or auntie or somebody that's looking, that I'm looking for in America. That never happens. You're just going off of a narrative that you've heard. So with that being said, I'm just saying, mind your business. If we get people to really understand that there's power in just focusing on yourself and your community and allowing us to do the same thing, it won't be so much back and forth. We won't have so much conflict and controversy between one another. We just need everybody to mind their business. And I'm going to go land right there.
All right, Charlie, you came with the fire. I was like, you really came with the fire. Okay, Charlie. Lee was around, guys, and Lee, like, she had to go down. Lee, you want to talk now?
Hi, hi everyone. Hope everyone is well. So I'm actually from South African. I'm from South African, born, bred, and raised, living in South Africa, experience the African experience that everyone else has. And I respect other Black brothers and sisters feeling that they can relate. But unless you are in our situation, you will never understand. And I'm only saying this because a lot of African people in America, Europe, they feel they're Africans when it conveniences them. But a lot of the time, they're ashamed to be called Africans because of what we stand for. So when it's convenient, then the Africans, they share the same experience, they can relate, they can give opinions, but you don't actually know what we are going through as Africans. And there's a lot of stereotypes, there's a lot of generalization, but we're not what you guys think we are. And if you can tell me on this panel, everyone in this group, the people that are standing up for Africa right now, can you please tell me how many of you have actually been in Africa? You went off what your parents told you, what you read in the history books, what it all entails, but have you actually felt how it is to be an African? Have you actually fought for your own liberation? Have you actually fought? Literally in our country now, people are fighting, standing up. The narratives are being changed. People are creating their own propaganda, and everyone is following what's on social media. But are you guys actually experiencing what Africans are experiencing? Everyone has an opinion, and it's right. You feel like you are entitled to your opinion. You feel that you are African, your parents are African, your ancestors are African, but you actually know what it feels to be an African. You have been so conformed into the civilization of the Europeans, of the North Americans, of the US, of the whatever other countries, and you feel like you need to stand up for your brothers and sisters right now. But if you really want to stand up for your brothers and sisters, I would actually suggest go back to your country of origin, create a better Africa, create a continent that you can actually be proud of, because you're not shying away in your houses in Europe, in America, and you can keyboard warriors, give your opinion, and fight the rest of the battles for the rest of the Africans.
Okay,
You are
okay,
not
Lee.
actually on the floor fighting
All right.
it for yourselves.
All right, Lee. All right, appreciate your input, Lee. Guys, let's tap the screen. Let's get the likes up. And again, if you're gonna be here, might as well to like. I don't know why, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So Zaira, how you doing, Zaira? Can you unmute?
Hi, how are
I'm here, Zaira. I cannot hear you.
Okay. 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, you
Yeah,
good?
I'm
You good?
just can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a go on the prompt.
Sure. All right.
But yeah, so so I do also think it is a distraction. I feel like I've seen very many things. I decided to block everyone because it just got so exhausting and just draining to see. I remember going on different platforms and seeing non-Black people comment on it as well. So it was just so much. So I just had to like block everyone. But I saw your panel. I'm like, yeah, this is more interesting. Let me have a go at this. But yeah, it is definitely a distraction. I'm gonna lean into the African things, the African affairs or side of things, since I'm African. But I was just thinking the other day, if ex-colonies in Asia or South America or anywhere else in the world eventually develop themselves and become industrialized, they could actually have a go at what the Europeans did in the past in Africa. And I think if Africans don't wake up, or I don't know, Black people in general don't wake up, then they could actually have this, have history repeat again if they don't decide to somewhat unite. And by unite, I don't mean like all come together, all have like a one identity. I just mean be civil with each other, support each other, stop degrading each other, stop being racist. That's what doesn't make sense to me, because I heard a lot of last year. I heard a lot of like racial terms being used at one another, like monkey and all of that. But I'm just saying, if Africans or Black people in general don't wake up, then you're in trouble. At least within the next 50 years, if people don't wake up, then yeah, it's going to be an issue. And another thing is, I want to say, when it comes to FBA and identity, I think Africans should just like lay off that. If it's not your identity, we don't really have much to say in that area of things.
All right, Zaira. All right, we can get back to you. Appreciate your input. Yeah, I think everybody is trying to tell everybody what to say or what they think. Okay, it's slide in penguin. How you doing? The penguin that is keeps sliding.
What's going on, my brother? How's everything?
Yeah.
I'm gonna greet you in my Caribbean Antilles indigenous language. My father's and mother tribe defeated Columbus. We are the Kalanagos, we are the Arawak, Sabonis. So I was saying Kara, I was saying Mabuika, Idabai, Amenecharawe, Leowanegatu. And I said, hello, how are you?
Oh,
I said, I
interesting.
hope you have good courage.
Yeah.
In my Lakota Arawak language, I would say Tagwe, Ida Bukai, Ai, Sliding Penguin, and when I show you kind of Munkundi, Abahuratin.
Yeah.
Local Champagne, Wachukubuli, Brooklyn, Florida.
Joe, you from Florida?
No, I'm from Brooklyn. My parents they met in New York City. So my father's from Dominica, where I so speak.
Oh,
You see the Caribs with the Colorado? That's my people.
Hey guys, if you guys don't know about Dominica, Dominica it's one of the beautiful islands in the Caribbean. You can eat so good.
365 rivers, 200 plus mountains.
Yes.
9 active volcanoes.
Yep.
The second world's largest boiling lake besides Russia.
Yep.
And then we used to have sulfur springs.
Yep.
So after battles, if you have sulfur, you could just jump in the thing and you can heal 5 times faster.
True. And they have delicious natural food.
Sulfur.
Very natural food. Very delicious food.
Yeah. And then my mother's from Grenada.
Ooh,
So
what?
Dominica defeated Spain 1493. Grenada defeated Spain 1498. Our admixtures come from the French. So the French use like the church, like clergy to come as like clergymen and map out areas and stuff like that. So they got a few ports in the 1600s, late 1600s, and then England came about 60 years later to fight the French to split up. So they had to have their cannons inland because we would always raid them.
All right.
And then in Grenada, my admixture come in, I say 1650. That's the first Africans that came in after we lost a battle to the French. So we used to actually go out there and raid them and rescue Africans and all that. So
yeah,
that's just how I come up. I don't have too much, but
okay. Hold on. Wait. Slide in. Okay, guys, you have to realize there's difference between Dominica and Dominican. There's Dominican Republic, that's DR, the Spanish speaking, but there's also a different. What's your point? I mean, this is a short history. Basically, so you can know it.
So the Dominican Republic is Quisqueya.
Yeah.
It's Quisqueya. Haiti is Haiti.
Yeah.
And it was 5 nations. Another one is Haigui.
Yeah.
Dominica.
Yes,
The second
Dominica.
one is Waitukubuli. Barbados is Ichirugane. Grenada is Shamahane. Jamaica is Saimaka. Puerto Rico, how they say mi Boricua, is Borican.
Yes, exactly, Silla. Okay.
That's still not indigenous names in places, yeah.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the topic that we have up here?
Okay, so is FBA African Black race? Yeah, it's a distraction. I think it's a distraction because it's so much stuff happening right now that people could network and get things done.
Exactly.
When you have great wars that's going on right now, if you look throughout history, when you see every great war was linked to liberations of different peoples. This is when the colonizers at its weakest point. They're overstretched. They're going crazy right now. Here where I'm at in Florida, you might see some people that voted Trump walking barefoot. You know what I'm saying? Like digging in garbage and stuff like that. Losing their farms because they voted against the immigrant workers, right?
Okay, so I tell my indigenous people, don't worry about that. Try to save up your money. Try to do this. Try to do that. You might have some disrespect on both sides or whatever it is, but still just look for the peaceful people. You can still network. You can still make money. Because both sides will say, well, you're trying to be like the YT, and one might say, well, it's a YT ran system, but for the love of money, I don't know if it's a Bone Thugs song, but for the love of money, both sides will get money with the YT. Both sides use the YT banks, communications, different things, energy, electrical. You know what I'm saying? Cars, electric cars, this car. So you can still make money with people. You can still organize with good people that's going to be respectful of your language, of your culture, and different aspects. You look at the South Africa thing. I believe that's caused by some type of YT group in the background to really to have the melanated South Africans go at the other people of different places. So when they get them out, then the forces could come out of Irania or different places and then finish the job. Because I told them I want to see you do that to the mines. I want to see you do that to the YT areas. You know what I'm saying? And I told some Somali people down there, you better organize. Police can't help you. You just better organize. So yeah, the distraction.
Yeah. On that note, what you just said. So for me, it's like, okay, it's a distraction. A lot of things, IT, a lot of things, sac passe, a lot of things are a distraction, but this is surely a distraction. It has a big distracting effort that is placed behind it. And on the topic, sliding on the topic of networking, I also have a network group that you guys can find in the link in my bio. If you click on the link in my bio, if you subscribe to follow my account, and then when you have a chance to you can do it now, click on the link in my bio. That's where you're going to actually find a networking group. So this is more about, creating opportunities together and building together. So this is about, mutual benefit. So let me give Spirit, Akije, Ayike Spirit. I think I'm saying it wrong, but anyway, maybe you'll say it for me. Spirit is you. You want to hear from you?
Peace. It's Ajike.
Ajike Spirit.
Ajike. Yeah, Ajike is Nigerian. It's Yoruba. I kind of wanted to chime in on a few people that spoke like a little minute ago. And just the confusion with first I made a comment earlier about the someone was asking about, they were confused. I think it was Cash. She was confused about, okay, what's really going on? FBA, African, Black, okay, what is this really about? And so what I said was that it's a ball of confusion. It's a seed of confusion that has been planted since forever, since the colonizers came to branch out to different parts of Africa, knowing that Africa has the main abundant resources that it has. They came, the Europeans came, the Arabs came to come and do what they will with their religion first, to implant and condition our brains, to then start to separate us, where we began to have all of these different tribes, then tribal wars, and then they came with their guns and all of this other stuff, and well, you need money, you need this and that, and the kings were at war with each other, tribes were at war with each other. It was just like a seed of confusion in order to, this great distraction, in order to get what they really came to get. Priceless resources that can go on forever and build wealthy families up in these other countries or blue blood countries. And so when people start coming in after Cash and start saying, being angry and, crashing out or whatever about Blacks, that I definitely agree that someone said that was a plant to me, because that doesn't have anything to do with what we're trying to get accomplished here. continuing on, we already know we're divided. We already know we're divided. We've been that way for hundreds of years, unfortunately. But now it's time for unity, like the Jamaican guy said. I mean, we need unity. That's what we need. And there was a lady that came on not too long ago talking about, have you actually lived the African life? Well, it's in my DNA. My maternal side is Sierra Leone Mende. My father's side is Yoruba, Nigeria. It's in my DNA. It's there. All I have to do is sit and think about my ancestors and it will come up. Have I lived in Africa? Yes, I have. I've lived in Ghana. I lived in Nigeria. So I've had that experience. And I do fight for my people here in America and in Africa because I understand the struggle. That's why I agree with the sister who was talking about Steve Biko. A lot of us over here don't know that. But the thing is, when you have been conditioned, it's not just on one side, it's on both sides. So people constantly talking about African Americans. I don't know if it's because when they read in the title on here that that's all they see is FBA and black, but Africa is on there as well in this title.
Facts.
It's on both sides. It's not just one-sided. Africans most especially have been conditioned a certain type of way. Unfortunately. I've been there, I've seen it. It's hurtful. So when they sit here talking about, oh, well, I mean, they're always talking about Africans and African booty scratching, this, that, and the third. Yeah, it came from somewhere. Somebody said something like, who is saying that? Who taught you that? Exactly. Who taught you that? And who taught you what they taught you in Africa? Because there was a lot of things that I was surprised that they didn't know. But out of my learning and being there and experience, it was conditioned that way. It is certain books that they would never read or have access to, just like there's certain books that we probably wouldn't read or have access to. But it's up to you to dig deeper. That's the point. But you have to first realize that you're actually being conditioned. That's a whole nother layer that people don't even understand.
Yep.
And the foundation to a lot of people's issues is religion. Religion is the first divider. Religion is the first divider. I've studied in theology, Catholicism. One of the Pope V come into Africa because God told him that we need to enslave Africans. But really, it was for money. It was an economic move.
Okay.
That's what it was for.
All right, let's give finesse. Thank you, Ajike. Finesse, guys, let's stop the screen. Let's get the likes up. Follow finesse. Finesse. I mean fitness. Finesse. It's your turn.
It's Finesse 1111. Finesse 1111.
Finesse
How
1111.
everybody doing today?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm great. Okay, so to get to the topic, I don't feel that it's a distraction.
Okay.
And let me tell you why I don't feel that it's a distraction. Because for so long, people have always said the so-called Black Americans don't have no culture. The so-called Black Americans don't know who they are. And as soon as the Black Americans start finding out who they are, then it's like everybody got into an uproar. Now, I don't know how many of you are, like the young lady said up under me, she knows she's African. She has Africans in her family. It's a lot of us so-called Black Americans that don't have any Africans in our family. And we've done our genealogy. And we've been all the way here. We went all the way back to be here before colonization. So, a fact is, I don't know if you guys know a guy named Walter Plecker. This is the information that none of you schools had taught you. None of your schools have taught you about Walter Plecker. Now, Walter Plecker was the head of eugenics in 1924. What he did was reclassify full-blooded American Indian into colored, Black, and Negro. So the only group of people that are called Black, colored, and Negro are the Black Americans who are really the full-blooded American Indians. Now, this information that I'm telling y'all, it's simple. All you got to do is just Google it. You can Google it. Like, if you got a computer by you right now, my man, you can just Google who is Walter Plecker. And then he reclassified full-blooded American Indians into Negro, colored, and Black. So, like I said, this isn't a distraction. It's those so-called Black Americans that everybody has always said don't have a culture, they don't know who they are. Now that they are waking up and realizing the atrocities that the United States have done to them, then everybody is in an uproar because people don't want us to know that the so-called Black Americans, this is their land, and everybody else, including the woman up under me, are immigrants here on our land. So it's a lot of us knowing it, and we are working on a class action lawsuit right now for the falsely reclassification of the full-blooded American Indian to Negro, colored, and Black. And this thing that we're saying is now FBA. I don't go off of FBA because FBA would mean that you come from Africa. I don't come from Africa. None of my people are from Africa. I don't represent Africa because I am an American Indian. I know who I am.
All right, okay. Finesse, I have a question for you. So you mentioned Walter Plecker. What's the purpose again? What's the reason?
What's the reason of Walter Plecker?
Yeah.
Because Walter Plecker reclassified full-blooded American Indian to Negro, colored, and Black. Do you know who the Negro, colored, and Black people are?
Tell me. Who are they?
The so-called Black Americans are the Negro. Have you ever heard of the word Negro?
Who hasn't at this point?
Okay, well, if you have, then you know who the Negroes are. Are you a Negro? Because you're African.
Look, Finesse, we having a conversation, but at this point, you're already wrong because you assume wrong of me. But anyway, I'll give you that. But okay, I'm still trying to understand what is the point of Walter Plecker. He labeled a certain group, and then what?
You know, are you not getting it? I need you to put on your Can I chime in right there?
No.
Put on your chime in, please. I beg.
No. Hold on.
He's spreading a lot of misinformation about racial.
Yeah, really. The Walter Plecker reclassified full-blooded American Indians.
Yeah.
Do you know who the full? Do you know? Can y'all?
Yes, he declassified various native peoples.
He reclassified full-blooded American Indians.
Yes, I know about it.
Okay, and what did he? What did he?
Okay, but Finesse. Okay, wait, hold on. Finesse. No, wait. Okay, we have to let him finish, y'all. I understand. I'm gonna give you two. No, wait. I'm gonna leave you two a chance to to rebuttal to chime in. But I wanna, yeah, go on.
And for the people that saying Walter Plecker was only in Virginia, if you go to my page, I have all the information and all the.
Okay, all right. Okay. Look, Finesse, please. I'm trying to understand. You say Walter Plecker classified a certain group, and then what? What is the relevance of this?
Okay, all right, listen. Do you know who the American Indians are? Who they are? Do you know that they are the indigenous people of America?
Yes. I've watched. No. Ajike.
Can you mute them, please?
Yeah, Ajike. Hold on. Look, I know who they are. I've watched a lot of Western movies, so I've seen a lot of
No, but see, you watch movies, you're not understand.
So who they are?
Indians are the owners of America. The people who Christopher Columbus saw here when he came before the colonizers conquered the land.
Okay, how is that? Okay, I get you, but how is that relevant to the topic? That's what I'm asking.
Because you saying is this war thing a distraction? It's only a war because the full-blooded American Indians have woken up to realize that they are indigenous to America and they're not African. So from that, the Africans got mad because they're saying, "Oh, you guys saying you're not African, this and that," but we aren't. That's just like a Jamaican saying that they are a Black American,
okay,
or a Mexican saying that they're a Puerto Rican.
Okay, so basically,
Indian. We're not
all right.
African.
So basically, it's about I say I'm something, you say I'm not that, and whatever, and blah 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 blah. Okay, Wolverine, what do you want to say about that, Wolverine?
Yes, hi, sir. I'm glad. I wanted to chime in because he's just set up there and literally just spewed a bunch of false information. The Racial Integrity Act, which was passed in there were actually 3 separate Racial Integrity Acts. However, the Racial Integrity Act that he's referring to was the Racial Integrity Act that essentially reclassified Virginia's native peoples to Negro and colored. The people that Walter Plecker was targeting were Virginia's American Indians. They were not Black. They were not considered to be the same as their Africans at all. They're very distinct groups, and Walter Plecker knew this. In fact, the reason that Walter Plecker was actually became very obsessive with reclassifying
was because he believed that mulatto people, African American descendants, were essentially trying to pass as white by claiming that they had American Indian ancestry, because at the time, having American Indian ancestry, having 1/4 or less, meant that you could also pass as white. Because there was something that was called the Pocahontas exception, which is essentially this law that allowed white Virginians to essentially esteem that they had a connection to John Rolfe and Pocahontas, while also being able to still pass racially white. He's trying to make American Indian and Black American synonymous. They're not synonymous whatsoever. When Columbus came here, also, he made a very acute distinct. He documented how the Tainos looked in the Caribbean. He described them as having hair that was long like a horse's mane. Another explorer named John White. He made several depictions of Carolina Algonquins. They don't look anything like Black Americans who look like West and Central African descendants. Not to mention, when you actually trace back the origins of Black American people, the collective history, the collective compilation data of Black American history. I'm not talking about somebody's individual, anecdotal, crazy ass family story about being indigenous or whatever. The collective of Black American history talks about a principal African origin for all of our people. There are so many sources you can read, like the 1619 Project. You can read like a pictorial history of Black America by Ebony Magazine. You can read so many primary sources that all talk about African origin.
Many Wolverine, so many. But all I'm hearing from Finesse 1111 is that this person classified us, say who we are gonna be, so now we believe what he said.
What he's essentially trying to do is he's essentially trying to lace the American Indian history of the actual indigenous American Indians to Black American people who are not of African descent.
Yeah.
He's being very deceptive. This is what they do. They try to essentially make it seem as if American Indian and Black American are essentially synonymous with each other. That's to say that American Indians are actually who we will call the African descendants.
All right.
However, he's saying that they were reclassified to African, us people that are actually of African descent. He's saying that we're not actually African. African was a reclassification, and that we never came from there. That's what he's trying to say.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Finesse 1111. Do you want to respond to what he just said or not? You want to respond?
Yes, I definitely want to respond.
Okay.
So, Mr. What's your name? Wolverine.
Wolverine.
So listen. If Walter Plecker reclassified full-blooded Indians into colored, Black, and Negro, who is the colored Black and Negro people? If you say they are the Mongolian, Russian, Mexican-looking people, then I never heard anyone call them Black, Negro, or colored. No, can I finish? Because you're...
No, let him finish. Let him finish.
What indoctrination are you looking at, bro? Like, you're not understanding. Prove the slave boats. Prove that 12 million slaves, but guess what I can prove? I can't prove that 12 million Slavs that are European came over here, and I have pictures, we have proof. You can't find a real picture of a slave boat. Only reason why you think you're African, my brother, is because this is what the white colonizer told you. And from that you came on here on a slave boat. So from that you thought you was African. African American was only coined in 1988 by Jesse Jackson. Before then we were called Negro, colored, and Black. Those are the same Negro, colored, and Black people that were reclassified from Indian to take their land.
Okay, but Finesse. No, wait, Wolverine, you had your turn. He was really quiet, so you have to wait. He still have time. So Finesse 1111. So would you say that Walter Plecker is the one that may help you understand your lineage?
No, Walter Plecker stole our lineage. He reclassified. So reclassified means change your lineage to something else.
Okay. But what was your lineage before that?
Full-blooded American Indian. You see what I'm saying? Walter Plecker, the full-blooded American Indians, he reclassified their names into Negro, colored, and Black. You can pull this research up yourself. And if they say for Virginia only happened, this happened to all the regions in the southeast of America, which wasn't the United States at the time. We're talking about the southeast area of America.
Let's say that.
All those states, were reclassified.
Okay.
And all the people that might think that think it's a joke and are laughing now.
I'm laughing.
When they find out, no, not you. I'm not saying. I'm saying anybody in the crowd.
I'm laughing.
They're gonna be crying later when they find out the truth. Cause see, I have the truth. The truth is the Negro and the Negro, colored, and black people were reclassified from full-blooded American.
Okay, you know what?
What do you think today?
Okay, finish. Okay, appreciate you. But okay, we have to leave Ajeka. Ajeka. Can you say it one more time? She wanted to say something. Who's you laughing? Why? I want to laugh. Come on. Like, do I need you guys to tell me when to laugh? Ajike. Yes.
Well, I mean, I've seen somebody here say identity crisis, and quite frankly, I have a few family members who speak heavily, like really strongly about this. Like, they're ready to fight you about it, and then at the end of the day, it's like, well, where's the research? What you're saying is not accurate. Let's go back a little further. You're saying that there were natives here before Christopher Columbus came. When Christopher Columbus came, there were Moors here. Now, I was trying to understand my family member when she was going hard about this. Like, okay, let me get this right. So you're saying that we were here before slavery. Okay, that makes sense to me. Because I understand that from the Mali Empire, there were Moors that traveled over to Italy. There were Moors that traveled to different parts of Europe, to the east, to the west. Okay, so I get that. They mixed in with the folks in what is now Mexico. Okay, they mixed in with what you call natives. They're not Indians. They don't even like to be called Indians. They are called natives, and that's what they prefer. Now we have to understand also that when the Europeans were coming over here, they were mixing in and trying to classify themselves as natives because of all of these things and rights that they were getting for the atrocities that was happening amongst their people. Also, just because you might have some native in you does not make you 100% native. And yes, again, addressing those people say we were here before slavery and this, that, and the third, and I'm not black. At the end of the day, there were a large amount of Moors who were traveling here way before Christopher Columbus came. They mixed in with the natives. That was a mix. They mixed up. That's what happened. Okay, so we have to consider that as well. And just because you have a few generations of mixed natives does not make you 100%. At the end of the day, melanin domination surpasses any other race on this planet. So if you have you're melanin dominated, which ultimately comes from Africa, you're African. Period. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, yes, Ajike. Hold on, Wolverine. Oh, yeah, so you said, Ajike, you said basically just because someone have mixed blood, or let's say, based on what Finesse was saying, an Indian blood in his family doesn't mean that he's Indian. He's still black. It's like for me saying, okay, I have Caucasian blood in my family. That doesn't does that mean I'm Caucasian though?
You're not 100% Caucasian.
I'm not. Yeah.
You got to do the percentage. That's why I say to any and everybody, get your DNA. There's accuracy there. Just go into your ancestry, get your DNA. Don't try to figure it out and investigate. Just do your DNA. I have German. I have a great grandfather who was German. I have some native according to my grandfather. But at the end of the day, that's only a certain percentage. That's probably 5, 10%, 15, 20, but that's not 100%. Majority of my ancestry lies in Sierra Leone and in Nigeria.
All right.
That's a fact.
All right, appreciate
that's like
it.
85%.
Stop running from your DNA. Wolverine, you're up. Wolverine.
Yes, before you go to the next person really quickly, because I don't want to take up too much time. But what I wanted to bring up, an actual document from the Virginia Library of Congress. So the Virginia Library of Congress actually has the original document, the original Racial Integrity Act.
Read it.
That was crafted.
Read it.
Okay, so it says Virginia has had a long. Well, I don't want to.
That's not the document. Read the actual document.
Oh, I don't think it'll let me bring up the actual. I forgot. I'm trying to. I don't.
So don't sell to the people that you have the actual document and you don't.
Okay, whatever.
But if you read the actual document is about preserving the sanctity of white teenness, right? Which means that if you are an if you are a white tea passing American with a little bit of Native American, Walter Plecker was exposing you.
Yeah.
If you were a white tea passing person with a little bit of African DNA or African lineage, Walter Plecker was exposing you. They never reclassified any black people as Native Americans. The only people that were affected by Walter Plecker one was in Virginia. Walter Plecker was never head of anything federally, ever. He was only in Virginia. It was, and like I said, it was about preserving the sanctity of white teenness.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
so like I said, no black people. Black people are not indigenous to this hemisphere.
But so I just wanted to read. It says, so Walter S. Plecker charges the state's vital statistics record employed the law to classify all Virginians as white or colored, and to classify the state's Indian as colored. Plecker believed that some African Americans were attempting to pass as Indians and
Read that again. Read that again, please. Please read that again.
Plecker believed that some African Americans were attempting to.
No, prior to that, when it reclassed, read the entirety of it again.
It was just saying, I would just start from the top. It says Virginia has had a long history of legally defining people by race. Colonial laws on slavery often use the words Negro and slave interchangeably, and by law, at various times, some Indians could be enslaved and others not. An 1866 law decreed that every person having 1/4 or more African American blood was deemed to be a person of color, and everyone not a colored person having 1/4 or more Indian blood was to be deemed an Indian. On March 20th, 1924, Virginia passed the Act to Preserve Racial Integrity, which defined as colored all persons having any discoverable non-white ancestry, and therefore subjugating all persons of mixed race ancestry to the racial segregation laws and laws against interracial marriage. Walter Ashby Plecker, in charge of the state's vital statistics record, employed the law to classify all Virginians as white or colored and to classify the state's Indians as colored. Plecker believed that some African Americans, this is telling you the reason why. Plecker believed that some African Americans were attempting to pass as Indians and feared that Indians would attempt to pass as white. So what I was explaining to you earlier. But this is, I can't pull it.
No, you just explained what I explained. It was always about preserving the sanctity. It was always about preserving the sanctity of whiteness. So no, black people were not black people are not indigenous.
I explained that to you.
Black people are not indigenous to this hemisphere, right?
I explained that.
I know. You explained nothing. You explained nothing.
Before you came up, I'm saying I told him what you're saying. I'm showing him the actual proof of it.
Okay. All right. Okay, Wolverine. All right, Wolverine. All right, let's give somebody else a chance, Red. Black first. He haven't had a chance. Black first. It's your turn.
Oh, what up, though? I'm Black First. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit.
African American. Sister, I just want you to know that the myth about the Mali Empire coming over here is absolutely ahistorical. It's not correct. It's a lie. No Moors came over here to the Americas prior to Columbus. And in fact, when you talk about Moors are not considered a racial category, a racial group.
Right.
It's a mixture of mainly Berber people. We'll call them Arabs, right? These were the people that were in charge of that particular area, Morocco, and other places over there, right? So
Berbers were African. I understand what you're saying.
No, sister, excuse me. Again, let's stay academically correct. Let's not go through the pseudo history. We don't. Excuse me, Wolverine. Let's not go through the pseudo history. Let's just be honest about this conversation and academic about our conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
The things that support what I'm saying is the fact that when we're talking about historical records, yes, Abu Bakari. Oh, I ain't gonna say yes, like as if it's true. If there is a story about Abu Bakari sending 2,000 ships across the Atlantic, but guess what? That's where it ends. It never tells where those ships landed. It never gives any details on how many people survived that treacherous journey, and therefore, when we find what we find over here in the Americas, there's no scientific data. Not only there's no historical data, there's no scientific data. And what I mean by scientific data is there's no anthropology, there's no archaeology, there's no DNA, nothing that would help substantiate whether or not Africans, not Moors, Africans came and made it to the Americas. There are no even if you say a Moor, because a Moor was a European word, honestly, to insult the people of that particular region.
To insult African people.
Right. But to be a Moor, though, you have to be a person who was under the Islamic belief system and so again, there are no mosques, there are no masjids, there's no Arabic language incorporated in any of the indigenous people groups here. So when you said specifically that these Moors came over here and mixed with these people, therefore you would have some remnants of language exchange, word exchange. There are no words and no indigenous. 574 recognized tribes here in America, recognized American Indian, Native American, First People, Indigenous People tribes here in North America, and so many more in South America and the rest of this Western Hemisphere. There are no words, no Arabic words that are a part of their particular lingo. In fact, the word to describe a black person was not even a part of their lingo due to the fact that they never encountered a black person. So again, majority, I'm saying all of the tribes will tell you that they didn't even have a word to describe people. And the reason why I'm gonna say that is because we have an expedition by Lewis and Clark. Lewis and Clark had an African enslaved man with them named York. And as they went through and explored the Americas, Lewis and Clark expedition, they had a slave named York. As they went through their exploration.
Last point.
Okay, this is my last point.
Yeah.
Many of the indigenous people were mesmerized by him because of the fact they never seen somebody with his dark skin, and they never seen anybody with his particular phenotype. So again, when we talk about this, and just real quick, two hosts, let me just do this. As an African American, and this is my source right here, African Americans on average. Can I get the big screen, host, or no?
No.
I'm gonna show a source.
No. It's. Sure. People want to see sources.
This is a DNA source. This is a DNA source. So take a screenshot of this source right here. I see it's kind of blocked off, but as far as genetics and DNA goes, your biology, what you're made up on the inside, African Americans, our population, 74% on average, 74% sub-Saharan African, 22% European, 1%, 0.8 to be more precise, of us have Native American ancestry or DNA, and then 2% other. And those 2%, we already know why that is. So I'll land right there. Thank you, host.
All right, appreciate you. Black first, red. I'll give you the last words. Wait, you wanted to respond to him? Let her respond to him first, Red, and then you'll have the last words, Red. Yeah, go on.
First, I would like to say I am from Detroit too. Appreciate that information. At the end of the day, I just like to deal with the DNA, and knowing that there are more science temples here in Detroit, getting that accurate information, and then thinking about when you was talking, I was thinking about a book by Ivan Van Sertima called They Came Before Columbus. That's a good read. That breaks down.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's
It absolutely is.
Absolutely is
It
not.
absolutely is.
Absolutely is not.
If They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Van Sertima is.
It's not a good thing to read. They don't even support it in that.
But Red, can I just say this real quick? Just so you can understand the point.
Come on, guys. Come, look.
You can understand the point.
Look. No. It's her turn, guys. Come on, give her a chance.
I know, but she brought up Ivan Van Sertima. I just want to know. I want her to know why it's not a good book to read. And the reason why is because Ivan Van Sertima posited in his book that the people who came over here to the Americas were from Egypt and Phoenicians, right? But when you look at the timeline and you understand where the Egyptian Empire when it was in rulership, it does not give you any information that says or suggests that Egyptians built ships big enough to go across the Atlantic Ocean. Now, again, they were seafaring people and they were river people. They were not ocean-faring people.
Okay, all right, okay, Black. Okay,
So,
Black first.
that book has been debunked several times because Egypt, again, he posited the wrong type of people. So that's why that book has been like a lot of reasons, but that's one of the biggest reasons right there.
All right. Okay. All right, Red, you have a minute. Can you close it up, Red? Red, you.
All right, I'm gonna try to make this pretty fast. So,
Yeah.
There's a couple of things I was gonna cover. So when we start talking about the Moors coming to the Americas, there was one thing that was prominent about the Moors. The black Moors were usually eunuchs, meaning they didn't have sexually reproductive organs because the white tea Muslims amongst them would castrate them. Secondly, like I told you earlier before, when usually we find anti-black rhetoric, we find a white tea person behind it. So when you consider Ivan Van Sertima's work, you must look at Leo Wiener's work. Write down Leo Wiener. Leo Wiener was a white tea guy that proposed these things that black people had been in America prior to Europeans. And that's where Ivan Van Sertima got his work from. They made such claims as linguistics and things like that, which they could never verify. Thirdly, black people are not indigenous to this hemisphere. We know this scientifically. We know that the complexion that black people have could not come to be on this hemisphere. Oh, I'm good at this.
I appreciate you, Red. Yeah, but that's the thing. But okay, since you are so right, Noah, you are so right. He didn't. What are you talking about, Queen? Well, how can you say that, Queen? We were in the moment. You just said it. Okay, so guys, you have to address the prompt because you're right. Since we need to address the prompt. I was dozing off, to be honest. So can you answer the prompt?
Okay.
Noah.
Is FBA, African, Black, and race war a distraction?
Leave us.
From an FBA perspective, and actually I consider myself Black American, which is what I am. All it is just a delineation. Okay. All we're doing is saying we identify as this. You're from the Caribbean. You're from Africa. Fine. That's the beginning and the middle and the end. I heard whatever the girl's name was. I think it was Duchess, who had some type of trauma from people who bullied her. I also heard the African dude saying that we were calling them monkeys and all this kind of stuff. I'm not here to defend anybody who was bullied in kindergarten or middle school or anything like that. What I will say is Black Americans, not African, Black Americans have always been a group of people that have teased each other harshly. We're the originators of the Yo Mama jokes. We were talking about each other's mamas in middle school. So we're going to talk about your mama, talking about the country that you come from and calling these things. I'm not justifying. I'm just explaining what happened. No excuses for that. Everybody is good and grown. The point is, if it's a distraction, what is it a distraction from? That's also my other question. What is it a distraction from? By me saying that I'm Black American, and this is my country and it has been my home for centuries, that is not to negate your experience. As somebody who's from Nigeria or Sudan or Somalia, go on your life. We are the same people.
All right. Appreciate you, Noah. All right. Appreciate you for coming up and addressing the prompt. Guys, I think it was interesting. Keep that to your. Okay. All right. All right. We don't need that energy. Come on. We're trying to end in a good note. We don't need that energy. So, guys, you can check the link in my bio as well. I have a private group for building together, and I think you guys, yeah. Anyway, if you want to be part of that group, you can find the link in my bio. You can find the link in the description box. Like and follow if you want to reach out to me for private coaching as well. You can do that via the links on my platform. Let's see. Yeah, when it comes yeah, I think that's not really necessary for me to address. But I think it was I shared my point. If you guys wanted to hear my point in this topic, I've shared it along the way of this live. But it can be a distraction. But anyway, I think I've said enough. All right, guys, find the link. You guys were funny today, really funny. I was trying to keep my cool, keep a straight, serious face, but some jokes like were meant to be laughed at. Great live, thank you, Brianne. Yeah, it was funny.